And my woman, they give me joy. Wanyama, 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 wanyama. Akanemi kana, my woman, they give me joy. Wanyama, 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 wanyama. Akanemi kana, my woman, they give me joy. Wanyama, 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 wanyama. Akanemi kana, my woman, they give me joy. Wanyama, 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 wanyama. Akanemi kana, my woman, they give me joy. Wanyama, wanyama, wanyama.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to be back here tonight on the Closing Acumen. It's a pleasure. We'd like to thank our crew at Truth FM, one of the best in Liberia. That is DJ Now, some of Liberia's finest, the guys at Truth FM. Real TV, we want to thank all of you for keeping this going live and keeping the Closing Acumen going. We want to say special tribute to you guys. You guys have been wonderful. Mr. O'Neill and his team, you guys have been great. And we are really, really honored to have you guys and to know you guys personally. Thank you for all that you do to bring information to the Liberian people. So welcome, folks, to the Closing Acumen. Today is Monday, the 16th of September. Wow, September is going really fast, really fast, and we'd like to welcome you. We are here again. This is what we do to keep you informed, keep you going. So we make this sacrifice for you, our brothers and sisters, and you coming here to watch us. It's a big sacrifice that you make. You could be doing something else. You could be, going about, exercise, doing something else, but you took all your time to listen to watch us, and we are honored for that. So we'd like to welcome you, our YouTube viewers as well. We have a lot of folks watching us through YouTube as well. I want to welcome all of you guys to the Closing Acumen today. Welcome James Coyote Jr. Welcome my big brother Edwin Kura. It's always a delight to have you on and to see you. You one of our you watch us religiously. Thank you, Edwin. All you guys help us keep this show going. But I hope you all had a great weekend. I did. I was busy, but we did. They had a great weekend and all of that. So we'd like to welcome you as you join us, even on YouTube. Make sure you share it so others can come. But we just want to invite you. Some announcement, some housekeeping stuff. Don't forget, this week, Friday, will be our fundraiser, our big fundraiser day this Friday, and our goal for this week, we are targeting to raise at least $5,000 for the Closing Acumen to keep the show going. We have invited some folks that will join us for this fundraiser. We invited folks, Miss Elda Foster. She will be joining us too. We invited Mr. Ben Sanvee from Delaware. He will come on too. We invited Mr. Alvin Loken from Indiana, Mr. Bayou as well. They all will be joining us. And a lot of other folks that we invited will be joining us. So we'll probably get a list of the names. But if any one of you watching and would like to join as well, come up. Let's do this. We want to make sure that we raise that funds. We want to keep it going because one of the things that we want to be bringing to you very soon, probably next week, is we're going to be hosting a special health service. A lot of people have died. I mean, people have been dying, just falling off and dying and stuff like that, and everybody don't know what's going on. Somebody at a funeral, like Mekong Garguah, that will be buried next week. We were together. He called me a few weeks ago. Said, "Look, I'm going to New Jersey. If you're around, if you're coming, if I'll be right not far from you. I'll be right in New Jersey." Following week, the man fell up and died. Heart attack. What's going on. So we have some beautiful expert, beautiful people who are going to come and tell what men need. Why sometimes men suffer. Laws, different things, the sex drive, the blood pressure high. What are some of those things? We'll have somebody come talk to you. You want to listen. We're trying to bring them. So the fundraisers that we are raising is to help to promote all those things. At least give it one day in a week where we talk about health, we talk about education, and other things. We don't just want to be focused on the politics. Politics is great, like grandpa like politics, but we want to be focused on that. Bentability, welcome, good to see you. So that is the plan. So this is our flyer for this week, and we encourage you. Anything you can do, dollar, $2, anything, $5, 50, 20. We encourage you to be part of it. Guys, you don't know the importance of, but I can tell you, I think a few days ago, we stood here, we're talking about a guy who went to Liberia, was trying to get his passport. They were giving him the run around, said he's not a Liberian, and they were giving him the run around and stuff like that. We stood here and said this on the closing argument. And when we said this thing, people were listening. They were listening. And today the man got his passport. He's going back to his family. Just through us talking about it here on the closing argument. Something happened. Changes took place. He was able to get his passport. So we just want you to know that how strong the media is. The media is very strong. Don't overlook it. And that's why we want to bring these kind of things to you. But you got to help us do. All the up going to be raising the money on Friday. Nobody is going to. All the up on the show that day will make our personal donation and we'll put it in the chat so people can see that we put in the live feed so people can see. So I want to encourage you that day to come on Friday, 5 o'clock. Let's do it together and let's make the closing argument go live. So I encourage you folks share the show. There's a lot of things happening in Liberia again. Man, Liberia cannot make you shame. I'm telling you. They can't make you shame now. Oh, I'm hearing myself. I'm sorry. They cannot make you shame. The more you do something, every day is something new coming up. Every day is something new. So we're gonna bring it to you live today on the closing argument. So, but firstly, before we move forward, I'd like to send a kudos and congratulations to one of my friends. I call him my little brother. His name is, they call him Atlanta King. I had the opportunity to meet him in person when I went to Germany, and he was so excited to see me. In fact, for 3 days I was there. He told me not to eat at the restaurant. He really had 3 different meals for me. He took me around the different places to see the Volkswagen factory, Audi, and he paid for everywhere we went. I mean, he was so generous. He said, "Big brother, don't pay 1 cent, don't even put money." I'm like, he said, don't do that. And he took me around. But today he got married, and I just want to put his foot up, my boy Atlanta King and his beautiful wife. They got married today. I mean, very beautiful, handsome man and a beautiful woman, and they got married. So, Atlanta, my boy, I want to wish you, I want to congratulate you on your wedding and wish you and the family a wonderful time. Till death do you part. I've been married for 20 years, and I know you can do the same. So I wish you guys all God's blessing, my boy, and hopefully I'll talk to you soon. But I just wanted to make sure that I send this treat out to you before I forget, so that we can. But celebrate, enjoy yourself, and I wish you guys the best. Looking forward to meeting you and your beautiful wife as well. So, congratulations, Atlanta King and his beautiful, beautiful wife, guys. Wish you guys all the best, all the best. So, Grace, welcome. Good to see you, Grace. Happy.
Yeah,
I say happy Monday, Grace.
thank you, Peabody. Good to be here. Happy Monday to you and the watching audience. I wish all of you guys a very good week,
Yeah,
and I hope you achieve everything you want to achieve for this week.
it was great. I was in a lot of pain over the weekend. I went some places that had pain. Uh, my tooth, and then for some reason my back was like couldn't get up a chair. But I actually went to the emergency and got some medication, and I feel a lot more better getting up now than before. I struggled to get out, but then once I stand up, the pain goes away. So it was.
That because of the removal of your wisdom tooth, right?
I don't know, but it
That
was.
because of that.
I mean, it was painful. I couldn't even get up and stuff. So I went to program, and by the time getting, I had to for like 10, 15 minutes. But I
Wow.
feel a lot more better now. A lot more. I had to end up going to the emergency yesterday after church, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to deal with this. Let me check it out. So
Yeah.
I'm
But
doing.
when you do the dental work, like about anything you do in the at the hospital, especially when you have to do a little procedure, you
Yeah,
have to rest yourself, people. You can't. Even you coming on the show and then you were telling me you were eating palawa, so I'm like, what?
I was
I will
just.
be asleep for at least 3 days. You know.
I was all the same day, and so. But I'm doing so good. I went to work today and I felt so good. So uh, yeah, it's been. Well, you guys had a boy in Maryland. You guys hang out to Markham Place, and I was seeing the picture, and I was like, oh my god, I need to swallow some of that duma when you put it up there. I was
I
like,
know.
oh my god, I need to swallow some of that stuff. It was just looking so good. It seemed that you guys
No,
had.
we had a boy, and then she had mankind. Look, if you go to Maryland before we start the show, because we just lecturing now, you go to Maryland. Don't forget to go on the high table. They got a place there. We can get you the location until you decide to go there because it's a kukuchimuku place. If
Yeah,
you don't know, you will not. You can't be a bar. You have to know. You have to make sure you get know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody to get on a high table. So, but we were on the high table, and Mekan, she's a very excellent cook. And the amount of food that she even had, she was making the food while we were there on arrival. I mean, this girl, I went, she allowed me to come in the back of where she fixed the food. Everywhere looked very nice and clean. And then the PB pasture, I was like, Mecca, I can't believe that you do anything that they, although she had her auntie there helping her. But that was a lot. Cooking is no joke. So she
yeah,
had all this food, and I ate dumbo and grumpy soup. I don't usually eat grumpy soup, but I ate dumbo and grumpy soup. Then I ordered collard greens, and then I took dry and fried fish to come. Then they have some kind of drink there called something I forgot. I think I will show the bottle later on.
mm,
I bought that drink. I bought four of it. It was $10, and that drink is very nice.
mm,
So I will show you at the end of the day. It's a Liberian made drink, very nice
mm,
drink. I think it's an after party or something.
mm,
And I mean, it was nice there. Tomalin came there. Mr. Kev Hassan came there. They had a lot of people coming and we were
Wow.
on the high table from 2 o'clock straight to I don't know when.
When you first say it was a rum punch.
Yeah, it's a rum punch, but it's very nice. You cannot. The punch will fool you until you will drink it. You will not even think that rum is until you catch yourself and say, "Oh, yeah."
Wow.
Yeah, and Winifred was there. My friend Verhani was there. We all had a wonderful time with Megan. She's a beautiful host. Besides her being a very great cook, she's a beautiful host.
Hmm.
And one of the things I noticed, I was telling my husband when we were coming back. I said, you know what I noticed? He said no. I said we met very civilized Liberians today. You know, in all culture they got civilized people, they got uncivilized people. Period. It is what it is. And you know me, I will speak my mind. I mean, it been a while. You know, when we go to places with me, civilized Liberian with me, you know, the other kind of Liberian there. But at Maker's high table,
Malcolm,
everybody that
Malcolm.
walked in that place was freaking highly civilized. The way they would even greet you, the way they came in, the smiles on their faces. I don't know what Maker for all her clients and I see a lot of people, oh, my people. Because the way they even carry themselves, you know, sometimes when you meet up with them, go one and what I'm like, look one we know, we just keep to the country, we are miss up. I saying what I saying. But the people I mean, there was a breath of fresh air meeting the people I make up. I was like, how Maker got all these people are clients, they are all very highly civilized. And the way they greet you, the conversation is nobody fighting there, and everybody just talking what they believe, and nobody shutting their friend down. And we stayed at that place for almost 6 hours.
Wow.
It was a beautiful time we spent there. Later on, Kev came and joined us. We all had fun. Tomalin was there. I was so happy to see Tomalin. Although I saw him like rubber for some reason, I was too happy to see him. He looked so good. And
Wow.
Tomalin getting shorter, you know. I know he getting stuck, so he looks shorter to me. He used to be tall, but he looks shorter now. So yeah, we have fun. So people asking me right now, I got 3 people that say they want to go on the high table. So I told them, say, you know what? Text America. I haven't told her yet. I will call her and tell her, and then when she agree, I will send because we don't just send everybody to the high table that I know. No, no. But when we sending you, we know how we sending you.
Yeah. Wow. That is so interesting. Very, very
Yeah.
much interesting. You know,
She's a beautiful soul. She is.
yeah, she's a wonderful person. I'm telling you. She's a wonderful, wonderful
Yeah.
person. Good woman. Very good. I love going to her place. Even if she's not even preparing I went there one Friday and I called her. I said I was coming for a funeral, and she was at work and she came and she just was not even fixing food that day, but she made sure she prepared that fish, and the
Mm-hmm.
rice and everything. I like, oh my god, wonderful person. You want to go there, you have good conversation, you eat, you joke and
The
walk on.
music too. The
Yeah,
music.
music. Nobody there making plow. Everybody just lecturing and
Yeah.
talking and leaving. This wonderful guys. If you listen
Nobody
there, like,
looking at you weird. You know, I
no,
don't know. You not go to some gathering. You be there. What the heck did I even come to do
yeah,
here? I mean, her place reminded me when we were growing up in Liberia, how we used to be. Everybody came in there, even if they didn't know you, like they knew you, they smile on their faces, they greeting
right.
everybody. It's very civilized gathering. I was like, okay. Because you know, I'm very civilized as well. I'm very bougie. So I like to meet civilized people.
Yeah.
It's just the truth.
So
Yeah, but we are here. This is the closing argument. My name is Grace Guar. We would like you to please hit share and share the program. Usually when we come here, we you know we give you everything we have. We come here with a fundraiser, but the other thing you can do for us is to share the podcast. Sometimes when I get off the show, it's only like 50 people share. It's not enough for the people that are watching. You can share because if they say share, it means that if one person share 5 times, then it means that not everybody share that 56 share. So at least if you can share this program to 5 different platforms, you know it would be better. So if you can share about 110 or 115 times sharing, it helps other people to get to know the platform and everything that we do here. And the message that we want to get to Liberia, especially come 2029, so the people can open their eyes to vote right now, because the last time, as we can see, as things going in Liberia, that we voted wrong in the country. The president is not proceeding well. So in my mind, I think we voted wrong. So, but for our people to know that this is happening, for them to make a right choice in 2029, you have to continue to share our show, because they will hear everything that's going on in Liberia, and they can make decisions on some of the information that they're receiving from this platform.
But I was just sharing a story, Grace. The other day, Ange, the fundraiser is Friday at 5 o'clock. Please come and support us. It's this Friday at 5 o'clock. So come and support it. But I was just sharing a story on the closing act. When I was talking about the fundraiser, I said most people don't understand. Elizabeth Bowen, welcome as well. Ange, welcome. Winifred Smith, Hotel Soir, Yummy True Mensai. Oh gosh, thank you for joining us. I was just sharing that we talk about a brother from Buchanan who was born in Buchanan and didn't get his passport, and because he was not Liberian, even though he was born to a Bassa mom in Buchanan, lived in Buchanan, and then later on went to Ghana during the war, and he have had 3 or 4 different Liberian passports. And Christian Roberts, good to see you too. And just because we give that something here on the show, we talk about it, right? People heard it, and you know what happened? He's back in Ghana now. He,
So
he
they
got
get
his,
you a passport now.
he got his passport. He's gone.
Yes. That's
Mhm.
that's how it's supposed to be.
You know.
How it's supposed to be. That's why we're telling people to share the show, because other people listen to the show, they're going through stuff, and maybe the people in the government, some of them don't even know these things going on, because the layman won't take money from the people and stuff
Hmm.
like that. So people can be able to correct the wrongs.
Yeah.
For the Papa government to go on fine, at least so when he gets 6 years after he's straightened all his stuff, let's see what legacy he will leave. But right now, with all the problems, we still say that the government is proceeding wrong. And we thank God that, because we spoke about his passport, now he got the passport and he's in Ghana with his family and be able to do his business. And that's how it's supposed to be. So we want to say shout out to the foreign ministry,
Yeah.
whosoever were able to intervene to make sure this man get his passport to be able to travel, because he's a Liberian and he has right to the Liberian passport. That's his right.
Yeah.
That is his birthright.
And he's entitled to it. You know.
Yeah.
And so that's why we're telling them. That's why we want to do this, asking them to help us to raise this fund, because you see some of the benefit that people get. One of our members, even I'm going to put it up there. One of our members have a grandchild who's running for Baby of the Year, and she's one of our strongest supporter as well. I'm going to put it in the live feed, but all she wants for us is to vote for her daughter. So guys, if you're coming on, vote for that grandchild after Baby of the Year. And I'm going to put the link there.
Yeah, I saw the link. I already voted.
Okay.
You sent it in my inbox too. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I'm going to put in the live feed too. And those of you that are here and want to help, want to do that, go ahead and do that as well. But Grace, there's a lot happening in the country. There's a lot happening in Liberia. I've been following the news. It's just a whole lot that is taking place in Liberia, and I will try to bring that up. So there's a whole lot that is taking place. So I'll try to put the news out. But one of the latest thing I was looking at today, one of the newsletter, Togar did post in the live feed for Close and Accurate about some other audit that came out again with a lot of money, a lot of money from COVID that got missing. A lot of money.
Oh wow.
COVID, yeah, and he put it in. I'm trying to put it up right now. But a lot.
Yeah, I didn't see it because I didn't get on the platform too much because I was busy at work, and then I couldn't really read anything actual today on the chat room. But yeah, put it up. We'll discuss it. I mean.
Okay. So they will discuss that, but part of the newspaper. Let me just go over some of the newspaper, and then I'll put up. Uh, okay, they said the one of the things, Grace. I think you're advocated for this thing. It's a very sensitive thing, but they say FGM rebounds in Magibi. You know what FGM mean, man? Do you know what
LGM,
FGM, female
mutual.
mutilation, or
Mm-hmm.
something like that? They say it has rebound again, Magibi. They say as dozens of girls are going to graduate from the Science Society
Oh my God.
all over. Yep, they're reporting it that these bunch of girls are going to. I think this is, you know, it's a sensitive issue, but I think
Yes.
it's very sad
We
for.
are we have advocated against that before, but
Mhm.
finish talking.
You know, it's very very sad. It's not a good thing. I think these young girls should be given the opportunity to live their life. And I know it's culture, but I don't think we should accept that it should happen now. So I think it's wrong. Uh, 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 it's saddening me, but I
Hmm.
think the government need to take some action against something like this. That's so. It's very sad.
It's sad. So it's the female genital mutilation.
Hmm.
Mutilation. So that's how they call it, female genital mutilation. We have advocated against this thing before, and that's the same response we got from gender ministry during the last government, that is the Liberian culture. The only thing they were fighting against, that the children should not be forced into it. So maybe if the children reach the age to decide, which is the age of 18, then they can go into it. But some of the fight, our fight was that at least if the children make the decision at that age, would be better, since it's a cultural thing that they cannot get rid of. It doesn't even mean that, that's what they're saying, they can't get rid of it. Like Liberia is one of the countries that really got that thing embedded into the culture. For some reason, I don't know why, but it is embedded into the culture, and it is destroying a lot of women, because every part of your body was placed there for a reason. God knew exactly what He was doing when He created us. So to see that, you take away a part of a woman's body just because of culture, and the saying that the people said in the 1700s, that
Mm.
this day and age will still carry on that kind of culture. And there is no way that Liberia can get rid of it, or I don't know if they got rid of it, because there was a lot of protests against it. People wrote. I yeah, we even saw some people that were not Liberians that were against it. Even for Liberia, they had some women group that were not Liberians, but they were against it, even for Liberia. And I don't think that the government was able to do anything about it. I don't think so. Um, we're hoping that they stop forcing these little girls, because when you that age, you cannot agree to that kind of stuff, because you are a minor child. You're not in the people don't believe that you will be in your rightful mind to make a good or rational decision for
Right.
yourself. So at least if you reach the age of a woman, which is the age of 18, then you can be able, and for me, I just feel that even that is too young. They should say 21. Then you can be able to make that full decision that, you know what, I really want to go to the silent bush, and I really want to do that particular stuff. But if you're not giving the person a chance to uh make that decision, they go there, and you cutting that part of their body, sometimes they bleed to death. Sometimes they get infection from that thing, because maybe the blade was not, sanitized, or maybe it was sanitized, somebody hand just touch it, and then, some germs got there, and it takes away a lot from a woman. And we women will go through a lot of stuff, I tell you. Only God knows. That's why I always say that women and children are the most vulnerable in any society, because they keep on taking away from us, but they cannot allow us to be able to stand for who we are. And then when somebody can stand, then they say, "Oh, you know that woman? She too much. She too this and that," because they are not used to women standing their ground and standing up for themselves. So that's why Liberia is going through. That is a very serious matter. I don't know when or how they can even stop that from happening in Liberia, especially when it comes to the Liberian culture and the way these people carry on now, that they're so oriented. So we don't know how far it will be, but we pray for those girls. We hope that they get through that. For me, I just not going to advocate against such a thing any longer because the real advocacy should come from within the government. That's why they have gender ministry. Gender ministry, one of their purposes is to advocate for women's rights. And so they should be able to do that. Since they're within the government, maybe the people will be able to listen to them because it's coming from within. But we are external, so they don't really, pay attention to us until we go to a higher, maybe international community. And sometimes they will still tell us that they can't do anything about what happened in our country. We need to continue to protest until something is done. So that's where we are, Peabody. That's where we are with that. You talking?
There's also news breaking that some former EPS guys today, where in fact I'm going to send it to the guys in the studio. Some former EPS guys were kind of demonstrating today. They entered the Capitol building. They were able to disarm one of the speaker, a body guy, and then I don't know what became of it, but I know our reporter was on the ground and was reporting about that on what happened. So we don't. I don't know what's the issue with these guys. Whether they have paid them. I don't understand that when you taking people from the job, you're laying people off. It would be very important for you to give them the compensation. Especially these guys are trained soldiers. They are trained armed men. They know how to use arms. They know how to do certain things. So if you are removing them from somewhere, you want to make sure that they are happy. You want to make sure that they are satisfied, and give them the compensation. If you don't do it, you could run into problem. You could run into some serious problem if you don't do it.
So how
So
were they moving the job? Were they fired or they were retired?
they were laid off. They were
Yeah,
laid off.
it comes to a certain kind of package. If you're laying the people off, you got to give them some compensation.
Hmm.
You can't just lay them off like that in a country that barely has jobs.
Yeah,
Come on now.
yeah. So it's,
So
it's it's sad. It's really sad. You know, very very sad. So I think it's yeah. That's the video. If you guys can play that, let's see what's going on.
So we have angry EPS officers here. They have disarmed one of the speaker bodyguard. They are in it's in demand of their salary.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, yeah. What it said happened. Robert, good to see you, my brother.
Thank you,
Uh,
my.
I'm trying to just read something here. This is dismissed EPS officer shut down Capitol building, and one of the officers said, "We disarmed him because he was trying to show up, and if anyone then come out with their weapon, we take it and will not return it. We want our money because our children are out of school, our wives have been put outside for rent, and no food for the various houses." Dismissed EPS officers shut down Capitol building in less than an hour and create tension while they threaten to hold ground if any member of the Liberian National Police show up. The House Speaker Fanatic Kofa calmed the issue and promised speedy negotiation with the executive branch of government to get the money paid and pleaded with them to not cause fear for Liberia and the state. I was just talking, Robert. Those are things that people don't take for they take for granted. You got those kind of people. Hey, Nora Hooks, good to see you. You got those kind of people that are well trained. They can carry arm. They know how to deal with those things. They know how to disarm people. You don't want to make those kind of people angry. To be honest, you don't. If you owe them, because in the first thing they would lay off, and they are pissed about it. They are not happy over the process, how they were taken from there, fire and replaced. They were not happy. They just went to work and met letter that, oh, you no longer meet the requirement of this job, and blah blah blah. They were laid off by what's the guy name, man? The EPS director said one Sam Gay. He went up there and boom boom boom. He started laying off people. So these guys, very aggrieved guys, and then you didn't give the benefit. You saw what happened today. These guys were able to jump right in there and disarm people in minutes. So you know that would have been a chaos. Thank God the speaker intervened and for them. But I mean, you don't know what may have happened. It would have been a serious bloodshed, a serious stuff going on here today. So that's the worst people, to be honest. Give them the benefit and let them go so the country can be peaceful. I mean, Robert, take over, Sam, and then Chris, something like that.
Thank you, Doc. It's good to be back on, Chris. Great to see you. But look, Doc. I'm sorry to say this, but I think that the speaker hasn't done much on this issue. I won't go into details, but I've been in one or two of those rooms where these issues were raised about wrongful dismissal by some of these EPS officers. And the speaker promised that he would address this issue, that there were negotiations going on with the exec branch of government to ensure, one, to address on what grounds some of these guys were dismissed. Was it political, right? Because most of these guys were not giving any reasons why they were dismissed, other than the fact that you had a new government in place, and that you had a new EPS boss, and that it was not business as usual with regards to that institution, and you having a new government come in place. There were no other serious reasons as to why these guys were dismissed. One, two, you dismissed them without ensuring that they got paid with regards to outstanding salaries and or benefits, and without taking into consideration the national security threat year, right? Because, like you said, a lot of these guys, and mind you, and a lot of these guys, some of these guys fought in the Civil War. I got to be honest with you. Most of these guys who are participating in our security forces, to be quite honest, some of them got some training, some requisite training, and some of them just did not. Right? These guys, this is a survivor for them, and you've dismissed them without ensuring that all of these major concerns were addressed. In June, the EPS dismissed EPS officers, over 100 of them, threatened protest. This has been going on for months. It has been going on for months, and so I'm very disappointed in the speaker, because he promised to address this issue a long time ago, months, since April, June. This is not the first time these guys have threatened protest. So the question here is, what has been done about it? Apparently, nothing has been done about it. And this is what you have. To see these guys go into the Capitol to the point of dismissing folks, disarming the security at the Capitol, speaks to just how fragile our peace and democracy in Liberia is. You piss off a few people, these guys can run down any institution, including the Liberian National Police. We all watched what happened recently. I mean, this is scary. We saw what happened recently at the CDC headquarters. The police could not withstand a handful of those young men. And then you come and you dismiss EPS officers. You give them no reason why they were dismissed, right? They already feel like this was wrongful dismissal. You have not given them that benefit. They've been complaining about this stuff for as long as possible. You've not heard anything. And these folks have families. They have children. The children of Speaker Kofa have no issue with school fees being paid. I've got to say this. I'm not squarely putting this on his head, but he promised to address this months ago. So if I was a dismissed EPS officer, how do I trust the speaker's word? As opposed to months ago when he said he would do something about it, and nothing has been done about it. What could possibly be done now? And so this is where we find out. This is where we find ourselves. It's a security threat, and I'm hoping that this is addressed once and for all. These people deserve their benefits. Most importantly, they deserve their outstanding payment. They've worked for it. They should not beg for it. They should be given to them without them burgeoning onto the capital and or disarming security forces at the capital. This is wrong.
Okay, let me come in. Welcome, Professor Kennedy. Nice to see you. Okay, so for me, I would say I understand where Robert is coming from, but sometimes when we speak, we have to be very careful because there's a certain government in power. And one thing about me, I will be objective. I don't care how who feel or what. But there's a certain government in power, yes. And what happened to the CC headquarters was not even right for the citizens to be attacking authorities like that. We're not going to be sitting here and saying that is, I'm not saying you're saying it's right, but we're not going to be sitting here and trying to encourage the kind of behavior. The war is over. They got something called at will employment. Most of the government or entity around the world, when they hire you, is at will. They can hire you anytime, and they can fire you anytime. You can be in a position you two can decide today, I will quit. They don't carry you to court for it because if I will employment now, if that entity has a union, the union now, who is responsible for the employees to stand for them, that's the union will go and stand and say, no, you can't just let the people go now. I don't know the whole story behind this, whether the people were dismissed or they were laid off. The government has the right to lay people off. My problem is, if you're laying these people off, there's a package that comes with you laying them off. They're supposed to be entitled to certain packages. So that the packages that they're entitled to is already laid out in the policy at that particular entity, or because I'm hoping that Liberians, they don't pretend on the labor laws. Every entity within the country and every company supposed to have some policy process besides the labor law going on for each of the group of employees. So I don't like the way that the EPS went there and disarmed the people. That's not the right thing to do. You are protesting, you're right. Everybody say, okay, you were laid off or maybe you were dismissed unlawfully. You have the right to protest, but the power where you're protesting, and if that person did not labor their gun to shoot, or they're just in position to protect that particular area, the Capitol building, they're sitting at in attention that we are not going to allow you to just come and bust into the Capitol building because we are security. Your calm down will bring the people outside, and then you go and disarm the people because you are EPS. The government should have taken stand against them for that. I don't think it's fair. It doesn't send a good message from our country that is already fragile. That everybody who go to protest now, they will just bust into the Capitol building and start entering the people off here to work. So I'm not saying that what they were doing, but for them to go and disarm a security guard or maybe a police officer to prove what? To prove what in that sense? We don't want any problem in our country. Our old parents in our country, my actual parents are not there, but they got old people in our country, they don't want peace. The children in our country needs to be in school and go to school and be safe when they're going to school. The part where people will go protest and they start to disarm people, I don't agree with that. I think it's very unlawful and it shouldn't be done. I don't care whether they got rebel training or not. They're not supposed to be doing that. That's how I feel.
Can I come in for a second?
Okay. And then from there, we'll go to Professor.
Yeah, let me say this, Grace. First of all, let me clarify something. I'm not supporting or encouraging any act of disorderliness. I'm not encouraging that. But when you have a country that went through such a long civil crisis, where the very government have not created an environment of reintegration properly, where the very government have not employed some of these young ex-combatants, they are in the streets, where the very government have not made decision understanding that the peace of our country is fragile. For instance, you talk about it's wrong for citizens to attack the police. Why should the police encroach on a private property because of what they may have heard without properly securing a warrant? If you heard something and you want to go to somebody's house, you don't provoke them without properly securing a warrant from the court. And so, no, if you came to my house and you're not supposed to be in my house, you did not follow the laws because you heard Robert is keeping something in his house and you come to my house, I have the right to protect myself. So what those young men and women did were protecting themselves. Now, the peace of Liberia, absolutely. If a police officer, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Young black men and women in this country has been senselessly killed by police officers, but it does not negate the fact that you cannot burst into my house without any warrant. I have the right to speak to you or not speak to you. I have the right to shut my door, and until you properly, you don't do that. People understand the law yet. So you go to CDC headquarters and you go and you provoke those young men and women who are not bothering you. They're in their own private space. Why are you provoking them? They have rights to protect themselves. So when we sit on this platform, let's speak facts. Let's tell the police officer, if you want to properly search a private property, go to court and get the right warrant to do so that when these guys attack them with the right warrant to search, we can then say, look, you're wrong. They have the right warrant to search. You should give them the space to do their jobs.
Nobody see that. Nobody see
Number
that.
two, let me land.
Nobody see that. Nobody see that. You get the whole thing twisted.
But you say they're wrong. What is wrong about protecting yourself when police officers come to your property without any warrant? You have no such warrant. What are you doing there? What are you doing there? So let me land so the doc can come in. Let me land. And so secondly,
you landing on yourself because you cannot incite violence in the country. And you can't do it.
The government, Grace,
attack the police. You will tell the police,
let's not talk over each other now. Grace, let's not talk over each other. Let's not talk over.
You cannot attack the police here in America. You know that.
Okay, Grace, let's not talk over each other. So our audience can understand the discussion. No one is inciting violence. Again, the peace and stability of our country. The number one who is responsible for that right now is Joseph Boakai and his government, and all of our elected officials. That means the decision that they make have consequences. You've got to think about these things when you make decisions. When you decide to fire these folks, since you have the right to fire and hire them, then pay them off. Give them the benefit. If you have paid them off, give them the benefit. If you have listened to that complaint months ago, they will not be at the Capitol today. No one is saying it's right for them to disarm anyone, but you have to understand what the government is doing yet. This is provoking people. You fire them. They don't have a job. They have family. You can't do that. You can't do that. So let's not sit here and say they are wrong. You have to take into consideration their rights. They have rights, and the peace of Liberia is in the hands of Joseph Boakai and the government and all of our elected officials. They must act accordingly. They must decide accordingly. They must make the right decisions in the interest of our peace. That's what I'm saying.
Doesn't mean violence should be in the country. Okay. They have to make the right decision, but the people got to go on the right way to get the decision made. They cannot be disarming police officer and think that it will just go there. That's not fair.
Some must not be shown to people home without the proper warrant. Let's start there.
All right, guys, let's bring Professor Kennedy in now. Let's get his thought on this whole issue with the EPS. The guys that were laid off, they weren't paid. They promised them since April. They have been waiting and waiting, and nothing has been done. So they decided to march up there today and take the law in their own hand. Professor Kennedy, what do you chime in?
Yeah, thanks so much, man. So I enjoyed the spirited debate between Grace and my man, my brother Robert. When Grace is on this show, it's always interesting. She keeps it lively. She keeps you guys on your toes. I always enjoy when she's here and she keeping Ben Sanvee on the ropes. He tried to do the rope a dope, but he can't get off because she keeps slamming him. But here's the thing, real quick. Look, Liberia doesn't have any social safety net. So when somebody goes unemployed, they really have nothing to fall back on. When you push somebody to the wall, they will fight back. But if you have a society where people are just arbitrarily doing anything they want to do without following the rule of law, you will have chaos. And you cannot have chaos. So there have to be some law and order to dealing with things, right? You can't have the high number of unemployment in a country without something boiling over at some point. It's going to boil over because people got to feed their family. What do you expect them to do? They have to feed their family. At the same time, you have to have a respect for the rule of law. So it's a complex situation. I don't think people should be walking around brandishing weapons, but you can't just encroach. You can't just walk into the Capitol without any. I mean, you can protest, but protest has to be peaceful. That's one thing Grace said that kind of caught my attention. I think over the years we've been hearing, oh, we don't want war, we don't want trouble in this country. But I think the environment is as such that you cannot avoid trouble. You cannot avoid trouble because if you have high unemployment, you have children who can't go to school, parents can't pay school fee. You have new administration come in, people lose their jobs because now the new administration want to bring in the partisans. When you have all of those situations, whether you want trouble, you don't want trouble, you have created an environment where trouble is going to happen. So it's not, you may say, oh, I don't want trouble, but trouble is coming after you. So what are you going to do? You can't escape it. You cannot escape it. All the things we will see happening in this country over the next few years, everything you will see happening in this country, it will be a result of the high unemployment in our country. It will be a result of the high poverty in our country. So this situation with the EPS, it didn't really blow over. It didn't really explode into something even worse. But it's like you're putting water on the fire. The water will simmer, but as it starts getting hot, it will boil and it could boil over. So these kind of issues of unemployment needs to be addressed because people got to feed their family. If it's not addressed, eventually it's going to boil over and will be a mess in our country. I'm not saying there's going to be some war or anything like that. It's not going to happen. But it would just be a series of protest after protest after protest. Let me say one last thing before I swing it back over to you, Doc. The fact that the IMF is coming in and Liberia is about to enter another extended credit facility in September, the IMF board is going to meet. Liberia is expected to get their hands on maybe about 200 million or so. But that program comes with a lot of restrictions. We saw the previous administration go through this and they got caught up with harmonization and some other stuff. So we don't know what this new administration is going to go through when they enter that program. So I think there's still going to be a little bit more of pain coming. We haven't seen it yet, but the government will have to use whatever money the IMF gives them. They have to use it wisely. You can't be using it for flying. I know everybody is here in the U.S. now, in New York, for the UNGA, the United Nations General Assembly. But we have to be very careful in terms of spending money and wasteful spending, because when you have people unemployed, can't get paid, then you're traveling and seeing that stuff, doesn't look good at all. So while we may say, oh, we don't want trouble, I think trouble is chasing us right now. It might catch up with us.
And before too many come in, Professor, one thing is our people, our officials can willfully lie to their employees. They will tell these people, oh, we'll take care of you in 1 month. And the people will sit there and wait and wait and wait, and they will do nothing about it. especially, you got people who are vulnerable. These people are armed men. They were trained in all kinds to carry arms and to do everything. You come up there, you lay them off. You lay them off. Political. You say you don't want them there. Okay, they were not just fired because they were not qualified for the job or so.
Why man should know what political?
Thank you, but they had given no reason, Grace.
It was a political thing. It was a political thing. They came out and removed those people. Yeah. All right, great. Great. Finish our talk. They came out and laid the people off and never paid them. How in the world you would lay people off and don't give the benefit? It's been since when? Since January. Today is what? Today is September 16. And these people have not received the benefit. I can imagine these people, some of them walking, paying their way by taxi every day, coming to the office to see when we'll get a pay. Oh, we're checking them tomorrow, all of that. They can't do it. So today, I didn't support them going and taking gun. But what could have happened today if all these guys had, because these guys know that they are the same like the police, they know how to disarm people. They can do it. If these guys had disarmed everybody today and taking the law in their hand, going around with guns and shooting and say we're going to the bank or going to this place, what would happen in that country today? So
you know one thing Robert mentioned, and I think everybody will agree, a lot of the people that fought in the war, they were never rehabilitated.
Nope.
Those guys were never men and women, they were never rehabilitated. So there's a high chance some people still have that thing in the back of their mind. So so they went to the Capitol, but the Capitol is not in charge of paying their salaries. The finance ministry is the one who takes care of the finances for the country. Why they didn't go to the finance? They went to the Capitol. That's what I was trying to figure out.
Because the folks at the Capitol, they wrote a letter to the House of Representatives to intervene because their concerns that were being addressed to the executive mansion through the Ministry of Finance have gone deaf ears. So they wrote a letter to the to intervene on two fronts: the wrongful dismissal and the back salaries. So this has been ongoing for a long time, and the Speaker promised to intervene. The Speaker promised that he was going to summon the then Finance Minister to ask about these folks' back payment. None of these have happened. So apparently they continue to go there because now it's in the hands of the House of Representatives and Fonati Kofa. Because he told them, stand back, let me intervene, let me find out what's going on, and we'll get back to you guys. So far, nothing has happened. So I believe that's why they went back there.
Yeah, and I think they found out that was an absolute waste of time. It was an absolute waste of time going to the Speaker because the Speaker really has no authority. I mean, I understand the Speaker wanted to be an intermediary. The Speaker wanted to be in the middle. The Speaker wanted to be a peacemaker. But when somebody comes to you with a grievance like that, if you don't take action right away, the people shouldn't waste their time going back to you because they should really be protesting at the Ministry of Finance that's responsible for all of these things. The Ministry of Finance pay the bills for the government. Even go to the Ministry of Justice if you want some level of grievance. But you see, the problem is, we don't believe in the rule of law in our country because nowhere should you fire somebody or sack them and not pay them whatever is coming due to them. So I'm telling you, man, the country hasn't really moved in any upward trajectory in years. The country is not going anywhere. It just seems to be in a revolving door. One person come in, they do their thing, they leave. The next person come in. Nothing seems to be moving forward. It just seems to be going in circle. We're not going anywhere anytime soon.
Tomalin, come in. You've been following Tomalin. Chime in here, Tomalin. What's going on? Why did they didn't pay these people? Why they promised them and can't pay them? And now the people are going as far as trying to disarm people. You know they're powerful. They can do it.
Well, it's good to be back again after a long weekend. Good weekend. Good to see the professor, Robert, Grace, and Doc, and all our viewers. You know, I was on the phone a few minutes ago before I came on the show. a lot of things going on in Liberia for the fact that I don't know whether the government came to power prepared or it just came to power. They weren't expecting to come to power. But for instance, people are now concerned that the lawmakers should be asking the president. They approve a budget for the issue on drugs, right? But then 3 of the top people that were confirmed by the Senate have been out of that place since May. Reports have been completed. The president has yet to act on the report. And they used to always accuse President Weah, say he don't have political will. But President Baka needs to act. Because right now people have his interests. I connected to A.B. Kroma, people connected to Fadiga, to the Bao, and that's the problem right now. And the drug issue is getting so serious to the extent that people are getting afraid because, like the professor just said, things are not improving, things are getting worse. Now, don't forget, this government ran on the campaign of drugs issue. But now, apparently, they have lost the fight on drugs. As a result, it is increasing. It is getting worse. And things are getting so bad to the extent that people are concerned. Why can you take an action? If you will fire AB and his 2 deputies, fire them. Are we short of professionals that can handle the drug issue? Put people, act right now, Mr. President, and put people in a position. Or if you record them, bring them back to work. But that's an issue, though. Now I talk about these people, the EPS people. For the fact that they will disarm the third powerful man in the country is the bodyguard, the speaker. It shows you that that's a call for alarm. You should be serious about that. And so right now it's concerning. I know the Minister of Finance took over today at an elaborate program in Liberia. People are looking to see what happened. And now at the same time, on the eve of the United Nations General Assembly, as Professor Kennedy said, now there's a fight going on now amongst who are allowed to come on the strip. Some people were denied, some people were allowed to come. The advanced team already in the country. The other team leaving tomorrow night, Tuesday, to come. And some media people are concerned that they were left out. They treated them bad and fight going on right now. But they are bringing over 30 persons to the United Nations General Assembly. Professor Kennedy was just saying about the IMF will be concerned about that.
It's going to be more than that.
Look at that nonsense. 30 people.
To the General Assembly. And they're having a program. I know somebody called me yesterday from New York, said, whether we attend a program in New York on, I think it was a town hall meeting on Sunday. They're having a town hall event where the president will be meeting with Liberians and then go Rhode Island to Gown, something to read from Rhode Island and so forth. And then they're having 3 trips coming up. He got a trip to Canada. And after that, when they come back, October, they got a trip to France. And all these trips are all geared toward hustling. So Professor Kennedy, you want a number that they are really struggling right now. They're struggling and they are they are going out there to look for money and so forth. But again, the IMF got restrictions and how you borrow money, how you get money from outside sources. That's why the whole China something is something that people gotta look at carefully. But it's a serious problem, and we don't know. But I would say tonight, I called on Yombli Kanga and Franti Kofa to ask President Baka, we approved the budget for LDA. Why still motions made? We don't have leadership at the LDA. It's an important and sector in the country. Why will you appoint or act on the report I'll give it to you? So I think we should all join that call to act because the drug issue is getting serious. And everyone also on the platform got relatives in Liberia. If we affect our relatives indirectly or directly, or some friends of ours, and we'll be the same one year sending money to go and rescue that person. So we have to get concerned about that. It's a serious thing, and the president needs to act right now. But issue of the EPS people that paid, I don't know. Perhaps the Minister of Finance, who just come to the video, they will address it now. But it's serious, so we should not just take it for granted.
But
let me say something real quick.
Go ahead.
Touching on what Chief just mentioned, right? Because the IMF program, you can only borrow money on concessions, right? Somehow, African countries, then the leaders can't seem to get this. That crap doesn't work. If you can only borrow money on concessions, that means you are renting your resources. We are rentier state. We rent our resources. Look at what happened recently with HPX. HPX just pulled that deal. Look at the price of iron ore. if you look at the 600 and something million worth of ore that HPX is going to pull out of Liberia, multiply that by the price of iron ore, HPS is looking to pull over $50 billion worth of iron ore out of Liberia. For how much? How much are they giving Liberia in return? It is nonsense. It is nonsense. Look how in the US is fighting for US steel to be in this country. This Japanese company called Nippon Steel want to purchase US steel, but the US government is intervening and they want to keep it here. We don't fight to keep our resources in our country, to have the companies there build and build the factories in there. But we end up renting. We tell HPS come for a little bit of change, HPS is going to come in and pull $50 billion worth of iron ore out of our country. Not only that, that's why the guys are billionaire. That's why Freelanders are billionaire. The guys doing extremely well. Why? Because they go to Africa and African leaders just don't understand this thing don't work. He's pulling billions out of Guinea. The Nimba mountain range that is in Guinea, he's pulling billions out of there. He's going to pull billions out of Liberia. That's how the people that get rich. We don't understand it. This deal is bad for Liberia, but it's too late. It's a done deal, right? The other thing is the fact that it's done on concessionary terms. We will never, ever get out of the position we're in, because we can't go and borrow money like how Ghana is doing it, like how Botswana, how South Africa, how Nigeria is doing it. We always got to do it by renting our resources. That crap has never worked. It will never work. We're just in a vicious cycle. That's why you have over 1 billion people in Africa poor, because we have poor leadership. The same crap happening year after year after year. We're not going anywhere. So everybody fighting to be in government. Why? Because when you're in government, you enjoy it. You take a lot of private trips. You fly the world. You know, it's a vicious cycle, man.
People call you boss man. Yeah. All the things. I mean, it's a big deal, like Professor. When they get off on the car, they call them boss man. They open the door for them. They hold in their bag. The whole thing, the whole charade.
But you saw just what Professor Larry said. You don't even have money. You got people then who not taking pay. Got people who hungry, dirt poor, hungry like crazy, and then you're doing big trip. You just came from a huge trip to China. Then you're taking a big trip to the US. You're moving, you're coming back, and everybody coming back with big bag and they're looking cool. And other people there, they're looking at it. What do you think will happen? You know, just recently, last week, the Minister of Internal Affairs, you appointed somebody who owed $89,000, $89K, and can't pay it. The court ruled that it should seize his property, seize the house, and that's the man you take and put in your government to be the Internal Affairs Minister. What do you think that man going to do? He came in the government, dirt poor, broke, old, debt, can't pay it there. You put him in your government. What do you think that man going to do? He's first going to try to clear himself out of his bill before he even proceeds. So the thing is, over and over, we'll say this over and over. Who's going to change it? The Liberian people are still making the same decision. They will see things happen. They will suffer. They will hardly see good hospital, nothing. But election time again, they believe, they say when in Liberia, they say when you're very old, then mean that you got vision, you've been in government long, that you know how to rule, you got more experience when you're very old. I thought when people are very old, they should be retired and stuff like that. But Robert, come in.
But before I come in, I just want to ask something. The EPS man is in my inbox, and I don't take threats because I fear nothing. Look,
He what?
They
want the inbox?
One of them in my inbox. It's a fundamental right for you.
Then we can bring him on. He wants to, Chris.
It's a fundamental right. I'm not taking your right away from you. What I'm saying, how you carry on the protest. If you disarm a police officer in security, it's not constructive. It's not appropriate. Then your concern now, if people start looking at you another way, okay, you're protesting will happen, you're protesting because they wrong you. But then you start to do that kind of thing, then it start to be a whole another thing. Start looking at you funny like, okay, why are you people doing it? Is this hard to address the issue? Because if you go to disarm that police officer, you meet up with the wrong one, you say you can't disarm yourself, somebody die or gunshot. Right there, that public safety, your children are not safe in that instant. So that's what we say. So you don't have to say, oh, you said when I protest, you better leave me, yeah.
Listen.
Okay, Chris, tell him to inbox me. If he want to come on the show, we can try and bring him on the show. Let him talk about what happened. But Robert, go ahead.
Listen, you no need to go into Grace's inbox. Grace, you may not agree with what she says or the way she says it, but that's her opinion. She has right to her opinions, right? We can disagree and to agree respectfully. Okay, we don't need no threats. She's a great person. Okay, so we don't need threats. But that was just funny. The man said he said we get my sister Grace are scared small.
I know, yeah.
You didn't believe me, eh?
But listen, let me say this. Let me say, look, look, this is the reason why, and you wonder why, investors, especially Liberian investors, you wonder why they are investing in Ghana. You wonder why they're investing in Kenya, right? Uh, and you can say whatever you want to say, but Liberians do have money in this country, especially for the ones that have done pretty well for themselves. They want to go back to invest. But security is just not a concern of foreigners. It's a concern of us as well. When you see people not building homes, when you see people renting Airbnbs and all these different things, people who are in the space financially to build a home since 2005, they understand the society that is Liberia. They understand the circle of government and governance. And so they are very skeptical when it comes to these things. But Tomalin mentioned that they had an elaborate uh, program today for the new finance minister. Why are you doing that? What is the essence of having an elaborate program just to welcome the new finance minister? Why? Why are you doing that? How does that benefit the country? How does that benefit? How does that improve the economic policies? This man should get to work right away. He should understand that, look, I'm taking over as finance minister, and the responsibilities here are huge, right? He's here to do the Liberian people's business. But when people talked about the president not approving folks leaving their offices, though they frown on this issue, and going to the airport, sitting there for hours, you have two lines only for them to welcome back the president. When they said, well, he doesn't approve of it, I says, no, he does. Because if he didn't approve of it, he won't be pictured smarting while he's shaking the hands of these folks. He won't be doing that, right? So he approved of this stuff, okay? And so when you see what's happening today and you see a finance minister having an elaborate program, the president approved of this stuff. He understands exactly what's happening, right? He understands exactly what's happening, which is why I will continue to say the peace of Liberia is fragile, and you don't have to like George Weah. But one thing you've got to give George Weah credit for as president of Liberia, his government made some responsible decisions in how to respond to the protests of citizens. He made some very responsible decisions. When people were out on social media making threats that they would drag the president, people were angry and mad that, look, wait a minute, why is it that the security apparatus in the country are now having these folks arrested for questioning? Because he understood the peace. When his convoy was attacked during the election and other people were mad that he did not act, he understood how fragile the peace of our country was. When they had the biggest protest in Liberia, we all remember that protest. The biggest protest in Liberia. I don't see that protest happening today without government responding angrily or aggressively right now. I don't see that. If this government can barely respond to an inside source about something being hidden at a political opponent headquarters, and you saw what happened, we watched what happened, imagine what would happen if they had thousands of folks going to the streets of Liberia. Imagine what would happen. So the government have got to make critical, responsible decisions to protect the peace of our country, Grace. I don't support people going to the capital and disarming folks. I don't support that. There are always better ways. When we said was on this show, we talked about responsible response to law enforcement provoking them. You've got to respond in a very peaceful and responsible way. You can't take the bait, even if it was a bait, right? But the government have to make better decisions that will protect the peace of our country. Better decision meaning when you fire people, whether it's for political reasons or for whatever reason you want to bring your own people in, pay their salaries, pay their benefits, get them out the way. That's a responsible decision. So what happens today should not have happened if these guys had gotten paid. It's not a justification as to why they happened. It's not a justification. But the government have decided to ignore these folks, to give them deaf ears. Meanwhile, they continue to travel across the world, to stay in the best hotels, on the backs of taxpayers. The very folks that are struggling in our country, they eat at the best restaurant. They're coming back again in New York. You see what happened. Like Tomalin said, they're going back home. Some of them are looking good, big bags, big cars. They have that security, they have that maid, that cooks, and they have Zogos, all those boys. They're having fun. But you can't have a country where only the 10-15% employed can reap the benefit of the country, while the rest of the folks, including their political opponent, sleeping hungry and are suppressed. We got to change that. When people are hungry, our parents used to say all the time, and we used to hear this all the time, a hungry man is an angry man. I believe that very, very, very well. Someone that is hungry can kill for to get food. A hungry man is an angry man. This is the reason why it is dangerous to have all these ex-combatants with no proper training, with no jobs out there, because
rehabilitation,
no jobs, no productivity. It takes little or nothing to get these guys back into their mood, because you know why? Their belly is tough. It's tough. And so what are this government doing? What decisions are they making to ensure that we protect the peace of our country? It means a whole lot. It means a whole lot. Why do we have 30 people coming to New York? Why?
30?
And they put out no program as to telling the people, look, this is why my entity is coming. They're going to justify that, well, we brought all this money back from China. We haven't seen the money yet. We haven't seen any manifestation yet. None of that. But they're going to justify that. Oh, we brought this back. So you know what's going to happen in New York. Look, this government, some of us did not vote for this, or we did not support this government, especially on the message of change, because we did not see them at their turn to the CDC. But you know what? They've already proved some of us right. Nothing have changed. What are some of the tangibles since this government came? I saw Musa Hassan Bealded posted something in somewhere. I forgot the name of the place where his team had to get involved to clear the roads. Yet and still, we spent $22 million in investment in roads, in roads connectivity. And this very president said in 6 months, no cars would have been stuck on any roads across our country. That has not been a reality. What has changed?
But I want to come in, Peabody, quick with the whole rehabilitation thing. I just want to say something. When we speak about rehabilitation, it's not only because most of the Liberian people they would run around with the whole rehabilitation thing. They will be over ever since. But for me, I said it since 2009 that rehabilitation does not only mean that you get a package and maybe you go home and they give you whatever is supposed to be in that package. We mean rehabilitation of the minds. Rehabilitation when it comes to work. They used to have something in Liberia called LOIC. So my brother-in-law used to be, I think he was the head of that. And a lot of children went there, a lot of people, a lot of young men and women went there and they learned trades. So we thought that vocational schools were going to be built across Liberia in the counties and, well equipped with everything that to train the people, pay them while they're being trained, and also before you let them get out there into the world. So with different trainings that they're giving them, so they can be able to go and utilize it in the world to get, anything that is supposed to get done for their family in that aspect. And also the rehabilitation of the minds, that they will have those centers. I thought about what Ellen would have done, to have those centers that those people that actually fought the war, besides them be trained with their hands and, how to do things, also the people have to counsel them with everything that they've been through at a certain time. Maybe you say, you know what, we'll give them 3 months of counseling, talking to them, about what they experienced in the war and how, people that have the skills to do it, not just anybody, how they can move on with their lives and stuff like that. So none of those things were done in Liberia. They walk out over and they just everybody should just live like we're supposed to forget everything. And everybody are not strong like that. The minds of people break. Everybody can't be strong. So I know they get this thing that Liberian people are a strong set of people, but it's not true. Because most of the things we see going on now on social media and in Liberia, that these people are not strong. Most of them suffering from the effects of the war and mental illness in the lower case are taking over most of the Liberian people. The way they act, you see how they do things, because most of them came here, did not get counseling, and some people got it, but most of them did not do it. So we thought that what they were going to do for Liberia after the war, but the people never did that. They just brought United Nations, whatsoever they were told to give, they gave. Our leaders did not seek for that. They did not really seek for that, because if they were seeking for that, the people were going to make sure it happened. So that's just my take on that part.
Oh, Grace, I'll come to Professor Kennedy, and then we'll go to Tomalin. But here we are talking about the budget and all of that. But do you know that since they fingered that budget, they altered, let me use a better word. Since they altered the budget, there have been nothing else reported. They added, I think, over additional money in the budget. There were unconfirmed report that the speaker and the pro tem met with President Barker on where he actually, that addition to the budget, he personally wrote wrote a letter saying that they should act on that fast, stuff like that. Nobody have been able to explain that to the Liberian people, Professor. The speaker have not come up to deny or confirm, the pro tem have not come up to deny or confirm that they met with the president, and from there they send that note for them to add additional funds into the budget. So at this point, nobody knows what's happening with that budget right now. Nobody knows what's going to happen. It's going to pass. They're going to put additional money in there. In fact, more money went to the executive. So I just wanted to chime in, Professor. We talk about the budget. We're talking about other people. Why? Some of the reason why folks will get mad and jump in the street and say they get our money, because they got all kind of stuff going on to benefit themselves, not the people. You know.
So 2 things real quick, Doc. Number 1, the budget in Liberia, it is never credible. People are always pumping things in the budget. People are always fooling around with the budget, but they always end up with massive budget shortfalls. So the budgets are never credible. The second thing is, how could the budget for an entire country be tampered with in this day and age? Be tampered with, and nobody is in prison for that right now, for economic sabotage? Show me one country where there's no rule of law and the country is progressing positively. Yeah. Name one country where there's no rule of law. Everybody just come and do their own thing and no one get prosecuted. You know, we're talking about the rehabilitation thing. Look, money was pumped in Liberia for the DDRR program, demobilization or disarmament program. It was attempted several times in 1997, in 2003. A lot of the people who were under the age of 17 at that time, today they're between the age of 35 to 40. Those are the same people sometimes you see protesting on the street because money for that program was stolen. Nothing came out of it. You can't have a country saying, you know, look, I know at some time I was being very optimistic about Liberia, but I must say, I'm not very optimistic that anything is going to change anytime soon. Because when you look at Liberia over the past 40 years, the fact that the poverty rate increased, it tells you that the country is not going nowhere. But a whole national budget is tampered with, and nobody knows what happened or who is in prison. It's a joke, man. Come on. It's an absolute joke. And everybody want to be in politics, because when you go into politics, you do whatever it is you want to do. Nothing comes of it. Absolutely nothing comes of it. Show me the last time somebody in Liberia, a high-profile person, was prosecuted for corruption. Nothing. You can have video of the person admitting to stealing. Nothing happens. In fact, I'll tell you this. The only time a person in Liberia gets prosecuted for something like that, for stealing or economic sabotage, is when the U.S. government go in there and grab them. Yeah. That's the only time. When the U.S. government, there were a couple of people that the U.S. government grabbed for some theft on, I think, some World Food Program or something. They grabbed them and threw them in prison right here in America. Even when Ellen Cochran went there, did her shenanigans with a budget from the Robert International Airport, when she came here and fooled around with COVID, what happened? And they grabbed her.
Still did.
Exactly.
She's in prison right now. She's in prison right now.
Exactly.
But if she was in a whatever professor saying, she was never going to be caught.
But imagine who helped her to escape. Who helped her to escape, giving her inside information before she escaped. The country is just a cesspool of corrupt officials who are never, ever, ever held accountable for anything they've done.
Yeah,
that is not good.
Yep.
Eventually, it's going to boil over.
Tomalin coming. Tomalin coming. Good to see you, Sylvester. Tomalin coming. Where you at?
Yeah, people asking for Professor, asking where he located at the advanced people. But anyway, we will talk that off record. But
don't you waste the time, Tomalin.
But let's some positive news though. You know, we can't. But I don't know, Professor B, you guys can handle this one. The president had a cabinet meeting, I think, on Friday, and the result for that meeting, they adopted 2 critical public financial management instruments. That means they're saying that the revenues now, if you in a particular county, they will share the revenue now. So that means if the Nima County get all these big companies and they're getting revenue, the government won't take all. Nima will have some access to it too. So any country that have these having any kind of major financial economic activity going on there, whether concession or wherever they're getting the money coming from, they won't just take all the money from out of that county. They will leave some there for the counties to benefit and create jobs and so forth. But you, the economist here, Professor Kane, what do you think about that? How will benefit? I mean, you think it's possible? You think it will help economic growth of the country or what?
Tomalin, was that the good news?
Tomalin, don't change the topic, man. We're talking about people fingering the budget here, and you come and just change the whole topic.
Yeah,
like
we
that.
gotta stay on that
Don't change
budget.
the
People
topic,
gotta
man.
make sure.
We'll come to that. Tomalin will come to that. But let's talk about
I want to.
I'm not ready today.
It will be real quick. It will be real quick. Even when you look at some of the cities, like when you look at MCC, you look at Painesville, those cities then should be benefiting from whatever revenue they create. But everything goes to the central government. I agree. Look, it would be great if they could enforce it. So, Tomalin, here's the trick. If they do what it is that they're planning to do, it will be great because over 70% of the population is in the rural parts of Liberia. They're not in Monrovia. They're in the rural parts. Over 70% of the poor people. So if they do the revenue sharing like they're planning to do, it will be great because it will lead to economic development and growth outside of Monrovia. But I don't have faith they're going to stick with that. I don't have faith they're going to stick to that because I can remember time and time again, even the county development fund, they weren't being shared with the counties. Ministry of Finance wasn't sharing it. And I think you guys will remember there were instances where they were chasing the Ministry of Finance for the county development fund. And I remember one time, what's the guy named Prince Johnson from Niba County was blasting the Ministry of Finance for holding back on the money that they were expecting. So it looks good on paper. Let's see it in practice.
So they asked somebody to ask you because they're looking for a free consultancy and you just give it to them too. I tell you to not be giving anything.
We're talking in the background, man. Grace, because he's a nationalist. Yourself, you have his country.
The thing is, and then we'll try to get Sylvester in. You can't be transparent when you already have when you already stealing and you say you're transparent. That does not work. Okay, well, we set a new management. We set up a new strategy that money coming from the county will benefit the county. But what about money in the budget?
That's another role for corruption.
Your author A money in the budget. Your author A. They said, how can you be stealing and then you say you're trying to make everything fair, free, and it's impossible. It's almost impossible.
What about the $30,000 they currently collect for constituency visit?
Exactly.
What about that? These guys are stupid. That's what it is. They just think everyone, all of us are just stupid. So they come up with new things. It's a pot. It's this corrupt pot expansion. This is all BS. I mean, this is not. It's
blah. Sylvester coming. You've been following the show, Sylvester. Let me hear your your point on this. You've been following the show.
You got to defend the government. Defend the government. Defend the government.
So, we can't hear you. Somebody, we hear ourselves though. So, I think you got to go and come back in.
Yeah, I think moving too slow.
You got to go and come back in. Can you hear us? No, you still.
But listen, while Sylvester comes back, listen, someone said, I read a comment and they said that it's unfortunate that it's turning into opposition.
No, Sylvester got to go and come back in.
Yeah, you got to. Yeah, he said the platform has turned into an opposition platform because we're not saying anything good about the government. Here's the question: what good has happened that we should talk about? Because I'm waiting. I want something because I've said it. My disagreement with the government is more so in principle than my desire to not see this government succeed. I want Joseph Boakai and every other government, irrespective of my disagreement, to succeed. Because if any government succeeds, the Liberian people benefits and the Liberian people succeeds. But I want maybe Professor Grace, maybe because Grace always, she always hold our feet to the fire. Maybe Grace can tell me one or two things here that this government has done right. What are some of the successes of this government that we can positively speak on? I'm dying. I'm waiting for something positive to happen so that I can come on the radio and say, look, listen, I commend the government. I commend the government. The whole man who said he's an agricultural guru, the whole agricultural guru have not put forth a plan to address this rice crisis in our country once and for all. We have not seen a plan. The man walked out of the meeting when he met with rice importers. We have not seen a plan. We're going almost a year into this government's of 4, 5, 6 years. So when this government does something commendable, something that deserves praises, we will praise this government. I know I will. I will praise this government. But let's be true to power. Corruption has probably increased. Nepotism have doubled. Okay. Tribalism is now.
It passed mark.
What has changed? Nothing significant has changed. The people who supposed to be the sophisticated folks, the educated folks, because that's what they said George Weah was not, and his people were not. They've done everything double. They've done everything double. So the day something positive happens, the day this government does something in the interest of our country, I'm a nationalist. I'm a patriot. I'm not a partisan. I will say it. But the truth here is, no one, even Unity Party partisan, cannot tell us that something positive, maybe Sylvester can name one positive thing that have benefited the country nationally. I'm not talking about appointing partisan to the other party. They're making $15,000. They're driving big car. They rent a veterinary apartment. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what has the Zocos, those moms and pop shops, our mothers who are selling market. How have their businesses? How is the economy? How has their life improved? So we can talk about it, but we didn't see nothing. Then y'all say the whole thing, we should come in and talk about what thing. This is not an opposition platform, but the truth is this government has done nothing different. They have not rescued anything but themselves, and we must speak truth to power.
Sylvester.
Yes, thank you. I don't know why, Raul. I'm not a spokesperson of the government. I can't name 1 or 2 or 5. Basically, the record, I'm not a spokesperson. But yes, I listened to Giorgio trying to say something. No, I'm not. I have never craved to support the government. What I have done is to try to strike a delicate balance here. When the government does something commendable, we commend. If commendable, if it's condemnable, we condemn. And then if we condemn, part of my resolution time to time, or my philosophy is to proffer solution and proffer some way forward. And that's the kind of a way in public policy development. If you criticize something, you proffer solutions, and that's the way. I'm not actually, on the most sincere note, I'm not one of those that would just bluntly support. No, I don't intend to indulge into those kind of things. I've never done it. I don't intend to do it moving forward. But There are a lot of critical things unfolding in the country. If we cannot protect our budget process and navigate the budget process in a way and manner that will benefit, because the budget is the only instrument of poverty reduction. It's one of the major means. The only instrument of poverty reduction in our country is one, to set the pace for the budget, and then we can do it in a way and manner that we incentivize the private sector. If the private sector is more incentivized and then it is doing well, you have the country to begin the process of moving forward and doing something very well. So any attempt to the way we want to term the nomenclature, finger, tempo, do this, do that. Any attempt to do those kind of a thing, for me, it is absolutely wrong, because the budget is not an imaginary type of process here. It's a law. It's protected on our organigram. I mean, on our Magna Carta, the Constitution of the country, to protect the budget, and that's why the budget is national instrument, right? It will have to be signed by both houses and then signed by the president and printed into handbill. There have been problems before of this budget process before. Time to time, when the budget moves over to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, when the president signs the budget, when it's into the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, there have been room that certain individual in both houses, or strategically in the executive, we attempt to temper the budget. They will record the budget for print and publication before the budget is printed into handbill to become law, and then do some. According to them, they will maneuver certain things here, and I think that is dangerous. We will have to stop that, and folks, we have to begin the process of looking critically at the budget. If the budget is passed, and that's the reason, before the budget is passed, before decision is taken on the budget, both houses, from both finance, the Ways, Means, and Finance Committee and the budget of both houses will meet in a conference discussion. They will have to trash all the differences and say, here's what we're going to do. They'll put everything in together. They will condense everything, find their mistakes, find where they agree on what they're supposed to do, have conversation with the executive, and then they will agree. When both conference committee and call, then they push into a plenary. That's the time plenary will just move, because the plenary will take decisions. The both plenaries will take decisions advice from the two committees on Ways, Means, Finance, and the budget, and they move and pass the budget. I don't know if that's done. When that is done, people are not again a more sinister motive trying to temper the budget surreptitiously, and I think that is dangerous. If we have to do that, it's bad. Now, to come to the issue about the County Development Fund we brought about before, I mean, it was there before. We do have a system in our national budget process called the budget sharing scheme. We've been having that in the 80s before. The budget sharing scheme is meant to allocate resources collected from a particular area. It was for the same budget sharing scheme. When Madam Sadi came, Madam Sadi tried to modify it. She referred to it as the County Development Fund. But the reason why the County Development Fund has some problem was that we have selfish individuals. For instance, if Sylvester Pewee is district number 5 representative in Zozo and Salary district in Lofa, for instance, Sylvester believed from the County Development Fund what's going to come in Zozo and Salary district. And then someone from Wanyama district will say, we need to do this project in Wanyama district. Then the Kulawu district people will say this, the Vahu district, the Foya district, the Kwandibode district. So there's this huge confusion there. That's the reason why we didn't really benefit from the County Development Fund process, because individual lawmakers were trying to own it, right? Instead of making it a kind of a national or county process that would go across. But the national budget sharing scheme was a process, for instance, if Lower Lofa, that Lofa County got the Waragizi Mountain and the Waragizi Mountain. Now, what are we getting from Lofa? Now, apart from what those companies, for instance, if it is this company in terms of the county, the corporate social responsibility, because there's something in that agreement also talk about the corporate social responsibility. So it's important that we do make effort to bring about those things. But our national budget process about tampering with it is a serious problem. And we cannot face those problems if the confidence cannot be to the people of because they are the custodian of our trust, if you will. So if we cannot repose our confidence in them, with the people, then there's a problem. It's a serious problem we have. Then how do we move on toward development? Because if we put money here for this process, and then XYZ lawmakers taking the money and chunking it here. And that's what before. You had lawmakers in the House having money in the budget for their private newspaper. I mean, it was bad. The Bon County, they had, I will go on and say, some of them had interest in particular newspaper in Bon County. They were putting like $25,000 in the budget for that. Other lawmakers putting money in the budget for school, for personal scholarship, and the rest of those kind of things. So, I mean, it's just there's how we push the interest of the country and move forward. Yes, and we move forward so that we project something that the country will benefit. If it is school, if it is hospitals, and the other technical area, farm to market role, the expansion of those things will be necessary. But I think it's important that we emphasize and protect that. But yeah, trust me.
I want to piggyback to something that Professor Kennedy said. He said that, I said here before that, and people thought I was joking, but when he said nothing good will come out of Liberia, these are some of the things we talking about. Look, I'm gonna put a picture in the chat room, and then I'll ask the guys to put it up on the road to Riverside County. It's deplorable. It's bad. It's terrible. You spending almost. Let's talk about the trip to China. How many people went to China? Go and spending more than $200,000 to $300,000 on that trip. Or the amount of people that went to China, they could have used that money, send a small team, and some of the money we're talking about could fix some of those roads that we got in some of the places that will provide major transportation for them. You're spending all that money, you're going, and yeah, it's a country. Electricity is still a problem. Almost everything in Liberia is still a problem. Okay. You're coming, you've been there 9 months or more. Liberian people have not seen. Look, let me tell you. One good thing the president did was to appoint the guy to infill. Let me give you an break. The new director at infill, Dr. Dupa Christian, I think was a perfect appointment there, and I think he will do a good job, especially in helping deal with some of the diseases and stuff like that in Monrovia. I think he'll do a good job, and I applaud him. But what else, that Robert said, what else have the president done? What else have Joe Barker done? I just feel, you want to come in, great, I'll bring in. I just feel it's either the president is out of touch. He got the will to lead, but he's out of touch.
Thank you.
He's out of touch. He had the will to lead, though. I'm sure he had the heart. When he was much younger, if he become president, what he would do. But he's out of touch of what's going on in the country. He's out of touch. Because there's another unconfirmed report we'll discuss that. I don't want to get into that. But I understand report I'm hearing from everywhere that now he's grooming Garguah to be the next candidate for UP in 2029. That's been going around, but I don't want. We'll get on that later on.
We no election like in 2029. They can grooming what they want.
That he's grooming Garguah.
But election in our country again.
But yes, it. You took over to be a unifier to bring all Liberian people together. Check how many Lofians are in very key position. Finance Ministry, Lofian. Central Bank, Lofian. Internal Affairs Ministry, that should be dealing with all the different counties and things, Lofian. You go this. I understand that even a national election will soon have another Lofian. And you say you're uniting and bringing Liberian people together. Liberia belongs to everybody. It does not belong to one county. But Chris Kami, I know you've been. We should.
Yeah, I wanted to answer Robert's question. He said, "What can we point out?" Robert, we cannot point out anything. Exactly what Pewee said. For me, I'm an objective, independent observer. I will evaluate the government according to their actions and the things that they do and what's supposed to be done. That's where I am. How they impact the country, or if they don't impact the country, I'm not going to be biased in sitting here talking against them. So far, I don't think Joseph Boakai government has done anything, and you know that between me and you, Robert. I don't know why you're even putting me in the whole thing. Joseph Boakai government has not done anything so far when it comes to what they have promised the Liberian people, their election agenda, what they said they were going to do for the people. None of their promises, even for the first, they never gave out the first 100 days where they really executed. I never saw it. I would say this is what happens when you vote a person from the silent generation. Joseph Boakai is from the silent generation. We had a topic here on the hard table last weekend. He's from the silent generation, the people that were born from 1923 to 1945. In that day and age, they cannot, the way the world is moving, they cannot move fast like the way the world is moving. That's the reason why we told these Liberian people who are wearing green and laying on their bed, laying outside and sleeping, we told them to not allow this man be president of the country. It's not that if it's for any hate or anything. Liberia is in a state right now that needs a president that will be alert, energetic, or moving president, or a younger version president that has the knowledge and the wisdom and understanding of governance. That's what we needed for the country. The person no, they agree. They say they will vote the silent generation. So Joseph Boakai silent. They made because he's supposed to be in retirement now, playing with his grandchildren and his pets at the back of his house and drinking his coffee and tea or whatsoever they were getting in there, and then in the morning they getting coffee to be alert. Joseph Boakai is my father-in-law is living his best life here in the States with his daughter. So I mean, this is what we get. Liberia, until the people can open their eyes to change their direction and vote the right president in, because the president is like a god in the country is going nowhere. So for me, my brother, Joseph Boakai, I have nothing to pinpoint what they did, what they have done. The kind of pictures I even getting from the interior part, people going, just that I can't post the kind of thing because some of it's too bad. They don't post some.
Look at the road. that river access road though, and Boakai was just there the other day to dedicate a hospital. Those are the road going into to river access. The guy that could put the other picture up to see that a man who said that in 6 months no car will be there's another picture that the guys then will put up. Who said that in who says it called Lofanomics? So somebody say it called Lofanomics, you know. But I think yeah, that's the road going there. I went on that road before, drove into Sesto City on that road. See how deployed where that look. Major county, that's a major county road. Don't you think this would be a priority? These kind of places would be priority for the government
in 2024 to look at
2024. Don't you think so? Some of the money that they carry on that big trip, some of the money could fix that road. They could do some, even if they didn't put the quota out there, there's a way that it could fix itself. It'll be better. You know, Robert's coming.
Yeah, I mean, and so when you look at the promises made during the campaign, I think it's fair to say that they've failed on a major campaign promise that in 90 days no car will be stuck on any major road in our country. And when we even talked about the dusty road kind of situation, they have not even done that, right? They have not even done that. But yet and still, we've invested 22 million Liberian people's money on this. Yet and still, we can't see the result. We can't. I mean, look at this road right here. Go on Representative Musa Ability's page, and you will see his people had to get involved with his own equipment. And I think he jokingly said that he would take his pay. He would take his receipt to the rescue family to get recompensated for that. I mean, this is the reality of the new Liberia, and I do understand where you and Professor Candidate is coming from when you talk about and not being optimistic about Liberia moving forward anytime soon. I 100% get it. And every day, the more you understand Liberia, the more you understand the people's mindset, the more you understand how things are conducted in Liberia, the more you understand the norms, right, in our society, the closer you get to that realization that, you know what, maybe this could be true, that the country will not move forward anytime soon. But there's something inside of me that still remains optimistic when it comes to Liberia moving forward. At least in my young years, because I still think that there are great men and women. Doc, I travel across this country and I go different places, and you meet Liberians, and you the first thing you think is, damn, you would think that we don't have, or we're limited when it comes to quality. We're not. I see a lot of quality young Liberian progressive doing so well for themselves, not only in this country, but in Europe, in Africa, and elsewhere, doing so well, well spoken, leaders in their own rights, making critical decisions for big companies. Why are we not putting together a team to go out there and recruit these folks? I follow soccer a lot, and I was watching recently, and they were talking about two young Liberians who are 17 and 16, 17 and 20 years old, who plays for the Minnesota Next Pro, MLS Next Pro. And I'm thinking, well, we have a tournament going on. Where are the scouts? Where are these folks in these different countries that are making recommendations? Why are we not recruiting these folks, these kids, while they are young, to integrate them in our team? I mean, every other country is doing it. 16, 17-year-old folks right from Ghana is being signed by big teams in Europe, Barcelona, and other places. These guys are not more talented than we are. I doubt the Ghanaians are more educated than we are, Doc. They are not more successful than we are. I doubt the folks in Kenya and in other countries that are making things happen. Botswana, look at Botswana. All these countries, these small countries, these countries that we are many, many years older than. Even though we went through a long civil war, it's been how many years? Why are we not advancing? Is it because we're dumb? No, we're not dumb. I mean, there's no way I can set you a doc and say that Liberia has a shortage of intelligence. I can't do that. We got smart people, both home and abroad. Why do we subject ourselves to the caliber of folks that continue to lead us? Why? And this is a question that our country will have to answer. Last but not the least, look at what happened with the decision making. When Joey, our president, they said the president don't communicate with his people. The president don't address the people. The president sent recording. How many times have Joseph Walker addressed us? How many times?
How many times have you even had a press conference?
Thank you.
To call a national press conference. They were blaming we had to say, oh, we don't have press conference. Oh,
Thank
we
you.
don't come. The other day he came from China and they were rushing him out of there not to even talk to the press.
Thank you.
How many times has the president said I will sit with the press today and answer questions with all the experience that he had working in government for over 45 years and all of that? How many times he said, let me sit down and talk on a wide range of national issues?
Thank you. Look at what happened with the drugs. Tomalin just spoke about that. How long will this investigation take place? Meanwhile, you still have my good friend Hassan Fatiga, and you still have the other guy, Abi. Both parties continue to, in their own way, support the government, hoping that the decision that will come go either way. What is taking this president so long to act on critical issues that is affecting us? And so this is where we are. The people don't like competition. They frown on competition. We see people who might be smarter than us. Instead of embracing them, welcoming them, competing with them, trying to learn from them, we try to ostracize them. We talk bad about them. We terminate that character. I mean, all of these things are happening only in Liberia, where good people are always find a way to get rid of good people and they reward bad people. And maybe until we change that mindset, then in my lifetime we can see our country move forward. But I am still optimistic that Liberia can move forward because we still have a lot of young people. If those young people rise up, if we just all rise up and say, you know what, we're fed up with this, we need change, something will happen. Something will happen.
Sylvester, that touched on this, Sylvester. The president, since that he's been in power for almost 10 months now, well, it's going to 10 months. he have not had a major press conference where he invite all members of the media to sit and talk to them. Why do you think is he's taking this long? You meet us, Sylvester.
Okay, yeah, I don't know actually. I hope the president will do that tonight or did it yesterday on a more serious note. But it's quite unfortunate that the president of the head of the Republic of Liberia within almost 9 months into his presidency, haven't had a press conference or even direct official press conference. In our days, the first president that I saw that was very interactive, despite he didn't have a good international support. His rapprochement internationally was not very good, but he was very proactive and engaging with the press. That was Garguah, former President Charles Taylor. He normally had this process about the regular press briefing with the press, and then people will call and they interact with the public. The next president that did that also was Madam Eddie Johnson Sirleaf. These are two very eloquent Liberian leaders. Tapping the top of the list would be Garguah, then Ellie. Ellie also engaged the press very regularly, and on the rest of that she did. And then, but I believe because the very constitution of our country says that there's a right of the people to be informed. On the most serious note, and the Constitution, Article 10 of the Constitution also is loud there that we should teach the Constitution widely in the country. That have not been unfolded, so the people should be informed. On a serious note, this is not. Also, I think it's a constitutional matter, and anything that's in the Constitution is very vital for the country moving forward. So the president is obliged to do those things, and that he will have to talk to the people of the country. It's not the press secretary that's going to gauge the people on those nights, on the serious note. And the press secretary herself has not been forthcoming. There have been a lot of different tactical maneuvering, meandering in a more negative way that you're not forthcoming. Because if the president is not forthcoming in terms of that, the press secretary will have nothing basically to say. So it is just important to call a major press conference where the president will talk about some major issue in the country. I think that would be very good for his public relation. It will help his public relation process very well. That he come in. I mean, we understand the president may not have a kind of a amplifier tool now because of the age and the rest of that, but they can use those other back that can amplify the voice. The voice go through those rural speakers. It will go through the line, right? You don't have to have. We understand the president's age, but we can engage strategically with the president where the president will.
You see the tune. You see the tune now. High. But look. Yes.
No. Yeah. On a serious note, right? The president's age. The president is almost 80 years or 80. So you can use those amplifying mic. We need a technological.
The Liberian people say
that's why he should retire.
The Liberian people say
that's why he should retire.
That Liberian people say the best the only one with experience in that country. And he had over 45 years of experience working in government. He criticized Jowiah for not even coming to the president himself has criticized Jowiah.
It's important that we will have to. It's very important, right? If you criticize Guar for not coming to the press,
yes,
you come and change, but Charles Taylor, Madam Sirleaf. These are
yes.
Madam Sirleaf will go up here, BC. She was sitting in the studio. Where people will call. And Madam Sirleaf didn't even do that alone. Madam Sirleaf was the only Liberian leader in Charles Taylor.
Everybody got different leadership style, though.
Madam Sirleaf and Eva Flomo had this issue where she would talk to speaking this regular pidgin Liberian English, right? She would do that, and she got from the intellectual side, the rest of that, and that resonated a lot with the. But again, that's part of. I agree, everybody got their own leadership style, but you should not keep the people of Liberia incommunicado.
Okay, so can I ask you?
Great.
Go ahead.
Everybody has their own leadership style. It is not written in stone that the president should address the country every 5 seconds.
He's supposed to, Greg.
Give me a chance, brother, man. So,
brother, man.
So it's not written in stone and say that the president should be addressing the country, that the way everybody want the president to address the country. But Joseph Boaga, he was on record talking the same thing against Guar. So we're surprised that he is not addressing the country right now in his capacity. And addressing the country is very important because it shows that the president is getting accountability, and he being open to the people. the people resonate with them. The people feel that they know this person because he always, maybe not even in a press conference, but he always doing interview, or he always, saying something to the people some way, somehow, whether through press conference, interview, or just calling State of the Nation to address or something like that. But the president is not doing any of that. And to me, in his campaign, it was one of the promises that he made that he was going to be, communicating very well with the Liberian people. And we are not seeing any of that. But we hope that he comes.
Which one of the promises has he kept?
None. They say, but I'm not driving on that road to go nowhere. I don't care who can be where. I'm going on the road. That road I saw the pictures, then they send me. No way.
Yeah, that one you go there, your car breaks down, you're slipping. If you're driving that road, I went there one time to Riverside, and I was praying because if the car breaks down, it's 2 days sleep right there.
You're sleeping there, yeah.
Yeah, no way out. No way. I feel like I had a cutter. Huh?
I can't do that with Peabody. I can't sleep. No, I'm not doing it. Call me what you want to call me.
I do that all the time. I go to all the little villages around. But
so
it's...
my thing with the president, he has not met any of his campaign promises because he really never had a real agenda. Just be factual. These people had no agenda. They had no real plan. They created a website or last minute to turn after they stole all the different agendas there for the other people who had website before they added together and put it there. They made an acronym arrest. They even speak to one, they say arrest why and why again rescue. So if you put a government in that don't have a real plan and vision for the country, this is what happened. Until our people can get to that state. And the sad part is people in the diaspora who's supposed to know better. They didn't want you running, Trump will not be president. But when it comes to the country, they can't even make rational decisions. Yeah. How will you put a government in that don't have a proper plan and vision? And you knew it. You still voted the old man in because you said that the only person who remove George Weah. Why was this election about George Weah in the first place? It was supposed to be about Liberia.
But we said that. They didn't believe us. We said that. We said that, man. They didn't believe us. So here we are today. Here we are.
Tomalin, come in. Tomalin, how you talk? Yeah, come in.
Tomalin, what is it? President kept any promise? What promise has he kept?
You see, this president, sometimes I want to defend the guy, but then it's hard. It's just hard, Sometimes I want to be balanced, honestly, be objective, but then it's hard because, the reality is there. And like Grace just said, the election was only about removing George Weah from the presidency. But we have seen there's nothing that have changed. Like, look, I was talking to somebody, the UN trip. Actually, they packed the trip. It's packed. And not, mind you, they're buying the tickets for people, right? And the second thing, the DSA did a subsistence allowance. Somebody getting $500 a day. Some people coming for 2 weeks. They're coming for 3 weeks. And for that person going to Canada. I think he left the country today. I think he went to Canada first.
But too many, I said New York, you think how much you should get somewhere for day?
But I agree. Look, people have a problem. I got a problem with it.
Country that come here, we low.
I don't have a problem with what I'm trying to say. The delegation, the amount.
Yeah,
delegation.
I agree with you on that.
Okay, yeah, but
Sylvester, that we don't want to feed you. That we don't want to feed you.
Oh yeah,
you can feed yourself.
No.
Let me ask you one question. Right, your company you work with currently, it is taking you from Atlanta to New York. You take care of yourself?
No, they are taking care of me. But
answer that question quick.
Brother, story. Somebody guy have never been to America before. What they know about what they're gonna eat? They've never been. If not for government, they will not even leave that river there.
Oh yeah, but
they keep wasting our money on them. Why would I get them 500? How much they spend like every day?
It's a serious thing, right? And everybody every official government got their people too. For instance, a minister will say, "I gotta bring a person on the trip." All they want to get a person get a visa. They come, and what happening? They were turning to bring people on the trip. Get reason. And people, you know it. You work at foreign ministry. You know how you guys do that, the on-guard trip. You pack the trip. You bring a book.
No. The on-guard trip is done in a way manner that it reflects government representations.
I beg you.
So let's say the Ministry of Foreign Affairs will deploy strategic elements that are supposed to come and represent the country. That is a reflection of the entire government. The finance ministry will have to do that. They're going to have to play a role on which are the committee of finance and the rest of that.
Yeah.
The ministry, so it's strategically done. I don't know if there's other way to do it until you tell me that. This is so I can understand it. But what I know is that if you now we do have a travel the government travel ordinance, Robert. The travel ordinance is very clear. It used to be hard before. There was some amendment in the travel ordinance, right? New York before, they rid of New York, but used to say like New York, Paris, London, and other areas. And Tokyo, Japan. Tokyo, Japan is the most expensive area to travel, right? So those areas will reduce the amount by a little bit because it will have to reflect you cannot find, and I agree. Myself that here, I never took a hotel, even in Brooklyn or Queens, to say close by or even to be jump to start going to a hotel in Manhattan.
They can afford it. You know how much the hotel costs?
But Robert, to be frank with you, I agree with Pewee. Robert, you in hotel management. Let's be frank now. Let's put it aside. You know very well in New York, it's very expensive in New York, right?
Expensive.
And do the UN this? They must at every month.
I come Robert for 2 weeks in New York. It's not a joke. A hotel on there will cost almost $400 a night.
Yes.
So now so you got to pay for the hotel, and then they got to eat. They got to get it per dime and so forth. So if somebody alone will be paid $800 a day, I mean, my only concern is the size of delegation. That's all.
They have now for New York now. They have for New York around $460.
So here is what my issue is. My issue is not.
But Sylvester, if you give somebody $460, how they gonna have to stay? So what you do? You look for another person. You join. You stay in one room.
They're not doing it exactly.
No.
You see?
Yeah.
They're not economizing. They would not do it.
You know,
they right? For me,
they won't
many
do it.
people that do not come to the UN, they will look for family members and other people to stop.
Exactly.
But listen, but that's what they're doing. But here's what they're doing. Here's what they're doing too. The guys that are getting these per diem, they're not using it on food. I know about 2 people, I'm not going to call names right now, who have their family members will come to New York and they will cook for them. They will cook for them every day.
But that's smart thing the person doing.
They will cook for them every single
But they
day.
gotta pay that for money,
Right?
to cook for them.
No,
But
yeah,
it won't cost as much. It won't cost as much. Or they will ask them to recommend someone in the city where they can go and eat. But here's my thing. Here's my thing. I get it. New York is expensive. Like you said, in the city, you would not find no hotel for at least $400-500 per night. But here's the thing: why should taxpayers be responsible to pay for the hotels and per diems and feed for all of those folks?
Because it's the government.
Lofa. I mean, they are still employees. They are still employees. They
gotta get paid, Robert. You gotta get paid.
So, including the girlfriend are coming too?
Oh, I don't buy that.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
So, Raul, the government does not pay for people outside the delegation.
But people that don't work in the government, they're also coming on the trip. We know that.
No. I don't know about that. I don't know about that anyway. But what I know is that the government will pay for those that are officially representing the government. For say the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, they got 10 or 15 representation. They will pay for the 50%. Let's agree that somebody want to travel, somebody no, that's their own business. The government is not responsible for that. Yeah, the government is not.
Robert just won't put all that stuff inside. No, Robert.
No, but honestly,
working with any company,
but honestly, no, right?
Travel, you have to have a package, a traveling package, hotel, food, and everything, even entertainment. Sometimes you Robert, stop it. Because like
I told somebody that they're already in New York. I said, look, you in Liberia, eat the pampora and put it again every day. You play, can't enjoy the food and make offer here. Can't enjoy it. A cheap year so. I said McDonald's here almost $1 and change for McDonald's.
No, but pizza not cheap in New York.
Man,
nope.
You get that cheap, man.
No,
McDonald's are not cheap. McDonald's, the dog quarter pound of beer is about $15-17.
If I'm New York,
I'm cheap back. Yes, I don't press money back. I think
in New York, they'll weigh it. They'll put a small pizza on the scale.
No,
but why you Liberia food? If I eat Liberia, I eat every day. I beg him. I eat Liberia food. When I go back to my city, at least.
Maybe if you say seafood, yeah, I will try that. But the other,
the way too much talking, the way eat like breadfruit, the salad on the heart, what I smell eating that, what eating.
Grace, come on, Grace, that dumb. So I just finish yourself. Come on, not to that.
Great. Somebody can blow now. Don't try on that fufu. You swallow it and eat dry right on top.
You want
No,
you
no.
somebody you want somebody.
No, when Bazapo swallow, you gotta eat more rest. I rather.
Listen, I gotta visit the hot table, but on a serious note, Tomalin, on a serious note, we look. My thing is this, right? These guys enjoying themselves today. Yesterday they were all fast. Oh, why Joey are taking other people here? Why Joey? Today they enjoying themselves. Why are they not vest at themselves right now? All these guys are enjoying that. My question, I know they're listening right now. Y'all were so vested a few months ago when Joey and his people were going on trips. Y'all were, what happening right now to you now? How you feel right now? The people in Liberia suffering, but you're coming to New York. You're coming all over the place, enjoying yourselves, having fat paychecks, you know? And you know, the truth of the matter is some of you guys would have never been in the position you're in right now if not for government business. None of you guys will be in the position you're in. Some of you would not be able to travel the way you're traveling if it wasn't for government. So how the other people should feel about you now? Tomalin, how did you feel?
But I'll give them the exception though. If they work for the state government, then they entitled to traveling. I will not blame them. The only thing is the size of the delegation, maybe.
Exactly. The size of the delegation is a waste of tax.
Yeah, it's a waste of money. And you can tell that these guys just want to travel. You can tell they just want to travel.
For me, they will be having some meetings on the edges of the conference. But again, if you have no business,
Bravo, for bro, what you think should be the size of delegation? Let me ask your opinion.
The size of the delegation, I think, from my perspective, should be based on productivity. For instance, when the agriculture minister accompanied the Ghanaian president right before George Weah, I think his last UN visit, they were able to educate the Ghanaian people on the website on the purpose of that visit. And after the Salam meetings, they were able to update through a press conference. And I believe I was on the drive at the time with my brother George Lobo. We spoke about that, and he was like, "Yeah, this is what they should be doing." Now, if the Ministry of Health is coming, the Ministry of Health should communicate with us what is in it for Liberia from the health perspective while they're attending this event. If the public work minister is coming, the public work minister should already have programs set up here that will benefit the country, and these things should be communicated before these trips are taken, and updates should be given. Right? Liberia is a whole different story. We have these huge delegation coming with nothing as it relates to why each of these entities are accompanying the president. So if it was up to me, here's what I would say: the president and at least roughly about maybe 5 or 6 persons should accompany him on this trip.
Okay, let me say this.
Depends on the conferences they are coming to, and
that's what I'm saying. So the UN. So what else would the 30 folks? What else would
no? But it's important.
It will be very unfair on my part to not answer the question of the program. Other people that already know about the place will say I'm unfair to the government. So here is what I will tell you. Before the 79th General Assembly that's coming up soon. I'll be kicking up in 2 days or so. Far before this, it was in sometime in August or late July. The UN Secretariat on the 79th General Assembly informed all member countries to the permanent missions all over there in New York. They informed our country the role we're going to be playing, the agenda, our representation, and all those kind of things. It's a huge process in terms of representation. There are 6 major committees of the United Nations. And every country needs to play a strategic role in those communities. There are SAR meetings, and you have to attend all those meetings. And those meetings are for different time. There's different time involved here. So the Ministry of Finance will be informed to say representation on the issue of how our financial structures are holding the country, where we have some gap, and the Foreign Ministry will be represented, particularly on the decolonization and political committee. That's a major area talking about all of the major structural problems in the country, peacekeeping, national security, and all those things. The different sector of ministry. So all those information that will be the notified will come through our issue. They will send it to the Foreign Ministry, and the Foreign Ministry will inform all those other institutions. That's why they are coming. Now, those institutions will not come with the minister alone. No, the minister will have to come with some technical team. So for a country to have 5 persons to the General Assembly, no, we always got some of them. Other countries come with more than 150. Those people got baby budgets, right? But you don't expect our delegation to be less than 30%. No.
So even if what you're saying is, even if, again, for me, the size of the delegation, I believe, should be predicated on what the country benefits. Because remember, it's an investment we're making. If you're spending $300,000-$400,000 just to bring the number of folks to all these SAR meetings that will in return not give anything back to these ministries, or these ministries cannot benefit, or the Liberian people cannot benefit, it's a waste of money. This is when a responsible government says, look, we have to be responsible in the size of our delegation. Yes, these SAR meetings are very important. Yes, we need a sizable delegation, but how are we going to be responsible with the Liberian people's money, especially when the people themselves are poor? When the economy,
Robert. Now, another thing the government also is not every representation our country will make will benefit from it. Now, yes, be part of the committee of nations. Now, did we pay money to the United Nations when they were representing us?
Yeah, but Sylvester, the country, the UN will not punish you if you don't come with 34, 40 people. No, they won't punish you.
I agree, but you have to be heard. Because if you're not heard in the UN, there will be time that will be strategic decision taking. You may not benefit from it.
I understand that, but the president and the government have got to be responsible. Yeah, bro. Just because they said you should have 100 people there, the UN is not paying for the 100 people to come to New York. We have to pay for it, and as a responsible government, we got to
pay for six persons.
But okay, so can I just say something?
It doesn't help the size still. It doesn't help.
All right, Chris, let's move to the next topic and close on it.
Pewee coming from, I understand where Garguah is coming from, but I would say for a country like Liberia, in the state that we are in right now, the country is suffering from poverty crisis. People can barely find food to eat. They can barely send their children to school. Why do you need all those people every time?
Thank you. But great, not a question. You can't even pay EPS officer. They're crying for the little penny that you owe them. But you got money to buy a plane ticket for all these guys.
And that's where we're coming from, because Liberia is not in a state to do that. And you see the Senegalese, how they're trying to change their country around. That's what we're looking for in the president. And when you come, you know that these obstacles are there in the country. So you can't afford to do certain things like a really regular country that is going running, you know, because the government know that this country still has a problem since 1990 wars, 1980 coup in the war into 1990. We're still trying to come back to where we used to be, or even better, you know, just to even keep the country clean. We cannot afford it. So what the use of carrying all these people that don't bring any essence to the travel? So you take the the people that will bring real essence to this travel, that will be able to seek for programs for the country, money, and that's the people you travel with. All the other people, there's someone there going in New York in the hotel. Myself, I kind of left too.
No, but Chris, let me say, Chris, if the government, if the people were appointed to come on the trip, I think they deserve it. And they deserve wherever they give them. You can't send people, especially if they are working for state government. You can't send them and don't give them the dime or don't give them money. That won't for everybody to do it until we learn that we got expensive. It's like I got bill to pay. I got serious bill to pay. But I'd rather leave it and go work a bus somewhere with the money, and then I got serious bill at home to pay. Catching up with me, but I didn't care. Any trip, I'm going on it because, you know, stuff like
knowing that you will get late payment on that bill, or you still say no, you won't go on the trip.
Yeah. Right? Liberia is a country where they can't pay debt. That's why you see EPS people that all are demonstrating today. Liberia people can't pay debt. You know, the country can't pay debt. So now even the people that say, well, I pay debt. Look at how many people that owe in Liberia money and stuff like that. The government can't even pay. They can't even afford to pay these people. But yeah, instead would rather spend $2 or $3 million on traveling and get less back. But let's move on to this topic.
Before you go there, another thing. The General Assembly, they already started already though. It started on the 10th of September, but the president will start speaking on the 24th.
Yeah, the General Assembly will open on the 24th.
That I want the president to start speaking, but they already started.
They started
on the 10th already.
Yes.
And I think Joe Biden will be coming he's speaking on Wednesday, I think on the 25th or so. I think Boakai is speaking on, I think that Thursday or so forth. And again, you see, they allot you 15 minutes. So in 15 minutes, You got to put all your you see, 15 minutes. You have put all your stuff in a 15
That
minutes.
Papa will not make it. He can't make it. The way the Papa can talk 15 minutes. What are you doing that for?
No, he'll make it.
He'll make it. He'll make it. He'll make
Yeah,
it.
but is that one page?
So
Chris.
Tomalin, let me ask a question. So if it doesn't start officially until the 24th, why is the advance team already here a week?
Well, they come because I know people have been that era, but they come prepared to. They come now to take control of all the necessary meetings to be having.
So for 5 days can do it.
Eh?
5 days can do it.
No, you
Robert,
But you have the embassy here, right?
Robert, the UN mission coordinating. You have the Secret Service. You are liaised with them. All the security network.
So the embassy can play a role. The embassy can play a role.
We'll play, but the missions of the UN, they'll be the one responsible mainly. Yeah.
So our mission will play a major role there, right? The mission will structure the process of assigning people to those different committees. There's 6 different committees, right? But here's why. The advance is going to come because major committee meetings started already at the United Nations. Now, the UN process is going to start. There are certain committee work will start in November. Certain committee work will start in October. The General Assembly will close. The Assembly will officially close around December 20, 26, 27, 28, thereabout. So it will start from September to September all the way to December. It's a different time. Now, there are certain countries, even the Liberian delegation, all the delegations are going to come down. There are some people that will be leaving or coming in October because at the time the committee will be active. There will be some people coming in November. There will be some people coming in December, right? So people coming almost the end of it. Now, those that are coming now, or people are coming with the official delegation, with the president delegation and the foreign, because the foreign minister we hear that. Now, and the UN will give 6 slots to every country, all the member countries, right? Those that come, particularly those that come here, they will buy a business class ticket and get a small per them for 6 persons for every country. Like for instance, the Liberian delegation, that will be the foreign minister, and 5 other persons from the foreign ministry will benefit from that. God, the foreign ministry will benefit from that. They will benefit from that slot. They will buy a business class, and UN will pay for that. And then those people have to come. There are certain people that will be here sometime if they are lucky. And their committees, for instance, they will be here sometime for 21 days. Some people will be here for 30 days.
Can you imagine?
But Peabody, yeah, what I'm looking for, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the president address, when he addressed the General Assembly, there will be a first address, right? I want to hear what he'll talk about the war crimes code. Now, if President Baka does not mention anything about the war crimes code, then I will know that the whole team, that whole signing ceremony, executive management.
I can bet my neck. I'm told that thing is in the second paragraph of his speech.
I hope so, because I'm very key, because you asking the UN to help you now, right? And you even the world body, you're making your case. Now, you tell the world body where you met Liberia, where you to the country from, and where the country is at the moment. And then you make it a P for the war crimes code. We want to hear it. If I don't hear anything but the war crimes code, then that's a problem. That means
it will come to passing, but the US.
But they gotta mention it, because
the UN.
There was a landmark signing at the executive mansion where everybody said the first president that ever signed the war crimes code issue. Now, before the world body want to hear from you, so we're watching carefully.
All right. We'll move
Can
on
we
to the
take
next.
calls?
Yeah, we'll take calls. We'll move on to the next topic. Let me say this, guys. We said it earlier. Our fundraiser is this Friday, and we encourage all of you to come and to give everybody. So you have heard it over and over. If you go to our Facebook page, the Closing Acumen page, you will see the flyers is there. And guys, some of you who joining us today, we actually just go on the Facebook page and just click subscribe to the Closing Acumen. But guys, this Friday we are invited a lot of people to come in and do the fundraiser. So we're calling all of you to come and help us. Our goal for Friday will be $5,000, and you guys can do it. We know you guys.
But I just to need that money, man.
Yeah, I could just do it. Yeah.
Friday,
look,
just to need that money, we'll be done with that.
Yeah, but look, let move on a bit.
Somebody said, Tomani, all I'm going to taking off. You can't get something here to say, ask it back.
Robert, I said, man,
took out the whole bundle.
Look at it, put over $6,000 on that floor that day. Over $6,000 on the floor that day. I'm like, whoa, I haven't seen money like this. Because I was looking at it, I saw 100, I saw 20, I saw 50. I'm like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, man.
We are poor people at Tomalin.
No, Robert, don't confess that thing. Don't confess that word. You know, don't confess.
We're not poor.
We're trying to make it in America.
Robert can do it, man. But guys, quick, before we go to the phone call. I just want to discuss this. Very interesting topic. People have been saying it, and some of our viewers even said it today, that Garguah is being groomed to be the leader for the Unity Party in 2029. A lot of people said it, Chris. A lot of, in fact, from high profile said it. So, what do you think? I will start with Sylvester.
Start with too many.
Let me start. Okay, first of all, I made it clear last week. There's a candidate already who already has a $20 million secure. That will be running. That person, the person said they need money. Money not an issue right now. The person now they are building a coalition, building a movement. So that person is already set. The person right now, the person not in the full government. The person is coming very soon. You hear them. They're within the 2027. They will start maybe end of this year or early next year. Now, it is true though, from all indication, Garguah, I'm hearing that he's the man that is tapping to be the, if Boga doesn't run, okay, he will be the one who will be replacing coming on the ticket. Now, and I told my friend Kun, I said, look, you join the party, you join the party, right? The party join the party, they guarantee that the people will carry you, okay? Because you get joined, don't forget now, the VP is member of UP now. I hope many people don't know. He's member of UP. Before he was allowed to sit on a ticket, you have to join a party. So
official member of UP?
Yes. He now, MRD, he now will preach on the party. He member of UP.
Oh, wait, Jeremiah is member of UP now.
Yes, the UP constitution is clear. Before you run on a ticket, you have to be part of the party. And that's why, listen to me now, that's why the day Boga nominated him, the program was delayed because he had to fill up the form. I was there. I filled up the form and go through all the process before they officially put you on the form. So he member of UP. Most people don't know. He member of UP. Okay? But now, see, UP, the way they operate, they want to stay in power for another 6 years. So they are preparing themselves. And they know very well that the VP come from a different party to join them. So they will not they won't put their support behind him 100%. No. So that's why Garguah is being situated. Perhaps I'm hearing that he will be the one. Perhaps they will send forward. That is if Boyka, if he's not on the ballot, which I'm hearing too. He only won't run still. One thing what the president say: when you get to that place where they think you know how your food is being bought, how your clothes being bought.
But then he lied to the Liberian people because he told the person he wouldn't want that one term.
No, he said it. Yeah, well, but Ellen to you say you're running for only 110 One time Ellen said, okay, so how they operate. So now, but it will be a problem. I know they will fight, but that's why I want the candidate that watching. He got nothing to worry about. He will not fight with them because he already got a $20 million secure. It's a matter of time. Yes. So that's what happened. But I can tell you though, Garguah is the one, and take it or leave it. Garguah is in a tough situation because if you cannot deliver the country from the financial stuff they're in right now, hey, your record is in question. If Liberia financial situation will not change, forget it. You have a problem. But if he can make inroads and take the country budget to $1 billion budget, our national budget, and the country, the economic activity is felt by ordinary Liberian, the trickle-down effect, where people are feeling the economic impact of the country. Yeah, he will be having a car to go to the finish line. But that's the problem, though. But I can tell you, Peabody, it is true that Garguah has presidential ambition. Is no secret. We know that. Now you got all other guys that are having ambition too. We'll see what happens. I know Yombly Kanga, I know she want to be on a ticket or either a vice president or maybe president or a ticket and so forth. So we'll see what happens. But
the thing is that what are these people doing for them to want to be on ticket and all the kind of thing?
Grace, that's
But
why
you go
it left for the Liberian people, because the Liberian people
Normally-
cannot see. But if the state don't get it, like Comey said, you doing the same thing over and over, expecting different result. You have voted for the last 2005. You voted the same two parties for the last 2005. The result have not changed. So you think by now you say, let me change, let's change, but no. So if you continue to do the same thing, your result you get. That's why the candidate I'm talking about, he's in a different league by himself.
Okay, Tomalin, can I speak now? Look,
Go ahead.
for you to run for president of Liberia, the Liberian people already know now because we have finished educating them and giving them the information well. And we continue to do it before 2029, 2027 will be ready on the platform, not be easy. They will call me radical all they want, but we will fight to the last end. Because if Liberian people don't vote 2029 right, I am ready removing myself from this space. Because I tired seeing the people suffer over and over again. But for anybody to want to put a bid in as president, you have to have a vision. You also have to have a plan. You have to have an agenda. And you have to have your website up for us to see the layout you have to present to the Liberian people. What it would be a good vision plan and agenda for the Liberian people's lives to change. So we'll be looking at all of that. So the 20 million mean nothing to sum up. It means nothing. Seriously. So we can't talk, oh yeah, but it means nothing to plenty of Liberians nowadays, whether they got it or not, because the people just want the good and the betterment for the country. This is about our future generation of children, the millennium generation Alpha and also Beta that is coming 2025. The next generation that will be born will be Beta in 2025. We are looking for these children to be able to carry Liberia forward. That's the future. If the generation millennium right now in Liberia, the whole place is contaminated with drugs. And the generation Z, also, most of them, the 13-year-old, 12-year-old children, they're on the street with 10 on the street doing drugs. The future, that future is being destroyed. That's the reason why we're fighting for that bill that would give our children who were born in America the same rights as the children in Liberia. So just in case those children feel, their brothers and sisters from here will have the opportunity to go there and lift the country back up, because the government that have been in place over and over have failed the generation already. After they failed us because of the war, our own generation X. So that's the thing we are looking at. So we don't care about your money. We don't give a hint on what you feeling having. If you come with a plan and you got all that money, it makes it good. Then we will put ourselves behind you. For the record, Chuchu Jules already declared that he's running for 2029. Just so you know.
Let me say this.
That's what that's funny on his side.
But Grace, the man can go abroad at least to visit the country for at least 10 years.
Let me say this. I know I'm always in Liberia, and I've always gone and registered to vote in all of the elections. I was there recently. Registered
All
the elections, right? But to be honest with you, if the strategy is to have Kafwan have the Unity Party ticket, that they're grooming him now, and his success as a finance minister will propel him into that. To be honest with you, I don't care if Joseph Boakai lift the hands, and maybe Sylvester, I want you to listen to this, because you're the diplomat here. I just from what I know and what I have experienced, I don't care if Joseph Boakai lifts Kafwan hands at the executive mansion as the next leader or standard bearer of the Unity Party. I personally don't see Kafwan having any political momentum to contest. For instance, if George Weah does not decide to run and he lifts the hands of, let's say, Speaker Funati Kofa, for instance, and given the result of this government in the lives of the poor folks, remember that we had a very contested election, a very close election. The country is still divided. So Unity Party did not win on a mandate, right? On a popular mandate here, right? I don't see Kafwan having the political momentum to put up any fight against the opposition, especially if CDC is involved. That's one aspect of that. Number two, they will have to do more than just being finance minister. Remember, Kafwan attempted to run, or what year was it? He had attempted to run before, right? What became of that? We saw what happened to that. I don't think he has the numbers. I think that, and people always argue that Alice Cummings is not electable. I think Alice Cummings is more likable than a Kafwan, if you ask me. He might have some trouble connection. He's well known in the country when it comes to his previous role and his current role. But I don't see him having that momentum to really put up a contested fight in 2029 against a formidable opposition. And so, that would be something that I would like to see. Also, I think that the opposition, like we've said, and I think conversations are being held, whatever the case is, I think the opposition will have to change its strategy. The election, I personally would not support any election if the election is only about Joseph Boakai and Unity Party. I think the opposition in Unity Party made this mistake with George Weah. If it's about just removing Joseph Boakai, and that's the topic, and that's the main point of the election come 2029, I don't think any well-meaning Liberian should support that idea. The opposition or anyone who decides to run must come with a serious case against the Unity Party and the establishment on why we should try a new course in our country. And that's what I will be supporting. Last but not the least, Tomalin, if I have to talk to my wife and beg my wife, the next election coming up, I think some of us will go a step further. We'll go a step further from talking on the radio to actually being in Liberia for the next election coming up. We're not going to play the fence no more like that.
So you take a side?
I will eventually take a side, but here's the thing. I would not be bullied into taking a side if that side does not reflect or align with my own core values, Tomalin. If the candidates and what I'm looking at does not align with my own core values and what I would love to see in Liberia, I will not play a passive role, but I will not be bullied into just picking a side for picking a side cross.
But then you need not to go to the country because you have to pick.
No, but there are different things. There's different ways. There's different impact you can make without picking a side. You can make different.
Who you were telling to vote for?
What you can make though? We need voter education in our country. We don't have that. We lack that. We need that. And
if you don't believe any of the candidates are running, then why get people voter education?
I'm hoping that 2029. I'm hoping that 2029 is different. One last thing I want to say is this, right? Chris, I think I successfully made the argument yet that it doesn't have to be about George Weah. The question here is, if the election was about change and Unity Party was that party and Joseph Boakai was the candidate as the alternative, then that was a no-no. That was my argument. But we had other candidates there. We had Alice Cummings there. You supported. We had Dr. Clarence Monba. We had other people there that we could have gone to if it was about actually change. And so we can make many, many arguments here. But if this whole strategy about Kafwan come in, I see it as a dead strategy.
Okay, but Grace, 1 minute, Grace. Grace, 1 minute, right? Let me say something, Grace.
Want somebody here, President? We are what a represent here on. Then we put somebody.
Let me say something, right? Okay, I don't know what you guys have heard this. That's what I'm hearing, right? There are a group of people now, Liberians are maybe they're getting serious now. There are a group of people in the USA now. I know somebody approached me, but the person, they haven't come back to me yet. But they are saying now that, for instance, they look on the platform. They say, okay, Peabody position, he haven't taken a side. Okay, Peabody come this side. Robert, he no position, take this side. Great. So now, what they are doing now, they're coming together in the diaspora first. Coming together, they're gonna find the right person and say, look, okay, if Pewee is the one you guys want to run, Pewee, look, we're not waiting for you to decide. We believe that it's your moment, it's a time, we want to support you. We're not gonna sit on the fence no more and say, will be playing that game where we'll be objective, playing that kind of a hang-ping. You wouldn't. So if you're serious now for true, you want change, I want to see the country move forward, you got to take a side early. If you take a side, if you say George Weah should be re-elected, you take a side by next year. So look, George Weah, we want you to go again. So all come, we'll put our hands behind that.
John, we are not going nowhere again.
I'm coming.
Rest on his retirement.
I come in, Grace.
Somebody else will run CDC ticket.
Grace, it coming. If you say a commission run, you do the same thing. You have to pick a side. But Grace, let me end it with this. So, no matter what happened, Councillor Gongloe was clear. If you are thinking that because of open politics right now, that George Weah is not part of the equation for next election, you waste your time. If he runs or whoever he supports, he will have an impact. Get it clear? Just clear.
Yeah, for the few people this is my point here. I'm not saying that George Weah don't have it in him to run. What I'm saying, as a friend to George Weah from afar, he's my friend in my head. So from afar, I will tell the chief, do not let the people fool you. People that don't need join on the platform and tell you that George Weah will hold the team. No, you already gave you have your legacy. Let your legacy live on the idea. What you want to turn what the government and gave Joseph Boakai saying that he won, and you consider we respect you. It goes down in history. Don't let the people take it away from you. Do not let them. If you want CDC to push power, put somebody hand up and put somebody hand up and put somebody good, very good, put a hand up so CDC can still be in that line like when it comes to politics in Liberia. But for the sake of what you do not go. Listen to me. Don't go. Don't let the people fool you. Garguah and all of them on the platform, they hear the fool. Do not go, sir.
But Grace, he did it before with Winston Tubman. He did it before when he was still very popular. He had done it before. So I won't be surprised. But the point is, what Tomalin is saying, Grace, what Tomalin is saying is, right now, George Weah remain a very popular figure in Liberian political disposition. That's what we mean. Exactly. So he has a lot of influence.
For me.
So what? Does it mean that he can win election in the country? He had a lot of influence. He never won the last election. Just be clear. He never won.
So he has a lot of influence.
For me.
So what? Somebody phone in the country. He had a lot of influence. He never won the last election. Just be clear.
We'll get echo. Someone listen to the radio.
Echo.
Someone listen to
the short one. Please, the way.
There you go.
Okay. So I got different perspective actually. Let me start first with the GAF situation, as what we hearing the other thing. I think when this issue about GAF appointment came on the middle of July, when there was being speculated in certain quarters that because the gentleman that were expected to replace Boima Kamara was the current economic advisor to the president, Modi Kamara. What unfolded in Abuja, unfortunately, they said that there was a way he engaged the president. It was very much unpolite and the rest of that. So the president got angry with him. That's the reason why Modi Kamara did not get appointed as Minister of Finance. Because he engaged the president in a weird manner that he was under influence of something, and he said, "Oh, this is a law." So he got fresh. He got robbed out of the position. Then GAF came. The next option was actually looking around. The best suited now was GAF. Now, the way and the situation will unfold in the country, if, and I would say a big if, the only way GAF can have a very good chance of, because I know GAF been nursing the presidency before, that I know, but he didn't have a successful line. He expected Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to anoint him. That process did not you and then basic fruition, so it came to issue, and Madam Sirleaf did not support anybody in that line in terms of coming up to anoint somebody, particularly to push to the presidency. Now, but if Ambassador Boakai and the current president of the Republic of Liberia were to decide to do that, to say as a continuation of my legacy, I would love to do this to anoint Agostinwe Gafuan to be the next president of this country. That would be a major, major development that I would come and say that can yield some very positive outcome. if the president were to do that, and I'm saying if now, right? I'm saying that I'm speaking as a political pundit here, not as someone saying things in the other way, right? But if that was the case, but mind you, President Boakai and the Unity Party folks are a little bit paranoid, right? This level of paranoia grew deeply when the new of Garguah appointment were coming in, because most of the guys close to the current vice president believe that there's a particular, according to my source, a particular chat room they have in this land to even battle him and so on, because they believe that he's coming to do this. So yeah, there was this conversation here with him to say, hey, you have to be apolitical as the Minister of Finance Development Planning. You have to commit that you wouldn't be nursing anything. But again, for inside sources, the president told them that there's no human being that would be apolitical. Now, it's not a bad thing for the man to have a presidential ambition or nurse presidential ambition, basically. So, yeah, is it the only way he will have some very good fight in this process there if the president, and don't overlook anything, Robert. I saw you sending over, don't overlook anything. I'm saying that's my personal opinion. I may be wrong here. They're wrong, right? But my problem there is that if the president is contemplating that, that's going to be a major process that we have to look into. And then there were the entire process is going to change in the Unity Party again, and the debate going to change. But there are folks in the Unity Party that are close, that are in the proximity of the current vice president, that are deeply concerned, worried that Garguah appointment as Minister of Finance is going to be a troubling development to them. That is key here. But one other issue quickly about the former president of the Liberia, is he still vector into the presidency come 2029? Of course he is. Now, a lot of things can play a role into those kind of lines. Is he waiting to contest? Is he actually, because he announced that he's trying to retire at this age now. Now, is he waiting to actually stick to that? Or is he being pushed to come back? Now, if he doesn't really have the passion to come back, there's going to be a problem. Then probably he's going to say, okay, I'm going to annoy this person also. And then that'll name we hear. For me, I like to, I like to say things the way I'm saying it, right? Different thing will be coming up in the United Party. Other folks were talking about Thomas Father. No, not a people kick against that. Now, there are the tendency that people talking about the other Southeastern gentleman, the lawyer from Kofa, right? So if that's the case, then if you were to annoy him, then the entire political landscape in the bloc going to change. And then what's going to be the line of those kind of things moving forward? So yeah, Grace was somehow right to say he may be still popular, but is that popularity enough to annoy someone to take the presidency? So that's the kind of thing. Will he transfer that popularity in terms of anointing instead of himself going into the race? Because if the debate now is
now.
No, I'm not finished. No, I'm saying is he stay? No, if the anointing is going to take over for instance, right? If the anointing is going to take over, you see, I'm analyzing that you don't even get it.
Can I put
Can I say something, God, before we go?
Go ahead.
Gentlemen, I'm monitor this show throughout. I make him. You guys say you were going to take calls, and I was waiting to call Grace so I can speak through Grace's phone. So apparently you're not taking phone again. You're not taking phone.
Taking calls.
So but let me say this. I just want to say two things. The first one I want to say is this whole thing about Garguah presidential ambition was injected. It is the same phobia that caught Jeremiah Kun people. And I believe Kun told my good friend Peabody to inject this discussion tonight. This is exactly what it is about. So I'm not surprised.
You said Tomalin said me, right?
Tomalin did not bring this issue. Peabody, you brought this issue. Tomalin only made comment on what he heard. But you were the one who introduced the issue. It was not part of the agenda. So don't bring Tomalin only elaborate further based on what he has heard. And Pewee further explain some of the things that he heard when Garguah was coming to different chat room. He talked about that. But you brought this issue. And we all know this game while all our talk show panelists do. They hear things and people say, oh, go there and test the water. So Peabody came tonight to test the water on behalf of Queen. but let me say this.
The most funny thing I ever heard.
So that's the first comment I want to make. But the most substantial comment on this matter is, like Tomalin explained, Kun is not a member of the MDR anymore. He joined the Unity Party. But we all know he's not been a member of the Unity Party. We all know that he was more CDC-like. You know, the stories are there. Tomalin can even explain further than that. We know how much money passed through Samotura to Kun. We know all that. The story is nothing clear. We know even the $1.5 million was going to be given to him to Don Bwaga, and he was stopped at the 11th hour. We know all that stuff. You know, he is a deal maker. He's a Donald Trump of corruption in Liberia. We know this. So, in Garguah, to a large extent, has an impeccable public service record compared to Kun. So, if you want us to have a show on that, let's put the two-person records on the pedestal and analyze it in a special show and say, and this is Garguah column and this is Kun column in public service. Let's see who has amassed wealth in public service. I think it's good for us to do that, okay? And then just doing this thing in a hurry. And I will close on this fact. When Tomalin talk about other people bringing millions of dollars and what have you, and we try to go back to what Albert Einstein said, that you can't do the same thing over and over and expect different outcomes. Councillor Gongloe was very clear on that during the elections, that he has a 10-point agenda, a 10-point pledge with the Liberian voters, that if you elect me, from the janitor to the office of the president, the salary, there will be a website for salary. Everything will be transparent, including the legislators and the judges. He made that pledge. He said, that's a pledge I'm making to the voters. Everything will be transparent. He said, if you elect me, if the president present a budget and the legislators want to do something else, he will go out in the 73 electoral district to campaign and tell the people, here is what I want to do. Here's what your people, your elected want to do. And if they mean the country will be on a waiting stand for that debate to take place, but you will not allow the legislature to override him on budget issue. And those are clear pledges he made to the voter. And of course, if you mirror his public service record and his personal life, you can say, yes, this was going to be a healthy debate to make. Okay, but someone can bring 29 million, even 40 million. The question is, what is your record of service? Even in private service, what have you done in private service that stands out, that you have the courage to make decisions? People can run public service and make $30 million like Kun has made in his business as legislator because he run.
Oh my God, we on this Kun again. The election been
Can we
over.
start taking
He runs truck.
They beat your law, Kun beat your law.
So, Doc, I'm about to go. Can you give me 1 minute, please? Let me just say something to Kehleboe.
You can do that. It doesn't matter.
Kehleboe,
You have
Kun
made
beat you long time in an election. Why you still holding this against him?
the one that George Weah gave him, Tomalin is my witness. George Weah explained that. The one Natana Magé and Jefferson Kojidan gave him, they explained.
And that's the regular election we're talking about. They always raise.
So Kehleboe, let me say, Kehleboe, can I say one thing before I go? Let me say one thing, right? You mentioned your brother.
Please do.
I have tremendous respect for your brother, but he outlined all of those things, transparency and everything. Yet and still, I've been having trouble reconciling what he actually stands for and his choice in the last election. He decided to support a man who have not shown much of his 45 years public service record, what impacts were made, and a man who also decided to pick a man as his running mate who you now describe as the Donald Trump of Liberia. So that for me is a little bit questionable. Here's where I will agree with you though. If the election was between Garguah and Jeremiah Cohn, absolutely the choice is easy for me. I would definitely support Garguah. But unfortunately, the choice would not be between Garguah and Jeremiah Cohn come 2029. The choice would not be between Garguah and Cohn 2029. Cohn, I think, made his bed and he must lie in his bed. But I think there's some twists that will happen as well, too, from the Cohn end come 2029. What I will say is this. I think the CDC and George Weah specifically have a major decision to make yet. And that decision is, should I have the ticket? Do I have the funds to push an election? And do I have the numbers to win? George Weah is still largely popular, and I still believe, given the Liberian people and how they voted, I still believe George Weah could win an election in Liberia. But I also believe that George Weah could twist the election come 2029. George Weah could decide to use his influence, use his party, use his resources to put forward a candidate that I believe, if Kafwan is the strategy here from Joseph Boakai, if Joseph Boakai left Kafwan hand at this and said, this is the guy that I want to carry on my legacy. And for instance, I'm just saying for instance, George Weah left for Nati Kofa hand and said, this is a guy that I want to carry on my legacy. The election is won. It's over, done deal. There is absolutely no way Kafwan can push an election against a fanatic Kofa backed by city.
I disagree. Robert, yes, look,
that's my opinion.
Still before you come in, Robert, yes, it can.
So
no, quickly. I'm new. Grace, forgive me.
You were not supposed to come late, brother, man.
I explained to you, my dear friend, so you can let everything out in the public. Talk to you. We talk on the... Yeah, don't let the secret out here. You know, Robert, I think you struck some good points, but you didn't learn. Yes, a possible scenario. If Boakai lifts Ngafan hand up, which will mirror his vision, Kun will go form coalition with corruption partners in the legislature. Prince Moi, Alan Snow, the Laksha, or Thomas. The corruption group will go one side, and Funatin Kofa and his group will go one side. So you have a split ruling like group, you know, because these are all part of ruling opposition. The ruling position will be split into three. One headed by Ngafan, one headed by the corruption King Kong on the other side. Then we got the money doubler for Funatin Kofa on one side, you know, who takes all the contract as speaker and representative, one side. Then the true opposition will emerge.
Wait, don't call I can't be a call speaker money doubler.
I think Kehleboe can be giving the G's, the NFL or G's.
Don't do that. You don't have no.
What's the best one? What do you disagree with? What do you disagree with? What do you disagree with? I just said, what did you just disagree with?
You call it money doubler.
President, we are decriminalizing speech, so I can speak. I can go to Liberia.
Don't lie. You agree with that? So Raul, you kind of believe that, right?
Anybody in the studio?
How about you,
No. But why they coming? But don't forget now. Don't forget Nima County, Lofa County, Nima, Lofa, Bong, and the Southeast. That way, Liberia presidency lies.
Of course.
You need so. But now, if you split, but listen to Kehleboe.
Say, you got to talk about
Kehleboe, listen to me now. Listen to me. But listen, Kehleboe, if the UP won't win, if they will split, they better make sure that they and Nima and the Kun are all on the same page. Because if they split, split in a party, it's a problem. Because if Prince Johnny stay around, he'll be a kingmaker again.
And they're all coming.
You see, so if you stay around, you'll be a kingmaker again.
Let Kun want to leave.
That's a possibility.
If Kun,
and you know that.
If Kun want to leave,
you can win with all Nima vote.
Yeah, Tomalin.
Oh yeah, you can win all Nima vote.
Come on, man. Where you say that? All election I have.
No, listen now. The one
Tomalin George, if a $20 million man have a market handshake with PYJ, you can go against Kun. You know that.
What I was saying. Too many. There's a possibility, huge possibility here, that if this is the only one to annoy, as we said, lift the hand of Garguah.
Yeah, so I make Kehleboe kind of show.
And then this process about Kun will obviously leave. Kun does not, as an individual, does not have a voice in Nima.
Yes.
Kun does not have a voice in Nima as an individual.
People got this one right tonight.
How you be Kehleboe?
No, because of Prince Johnson. Prince Johnson, he does.
You got a vice president and you're laughing. What you say? You're like, man, laughing. Man, say, what man, what you talking about?
No.
Anybody in the studio,
But the man faster. You got man communicating way.
Man laughing. Man say, man, what you talking about?
No, that's it. Yeah, my point.
You
Don't
touch your point. Don't listen to Tomalin, George.
Vaz,
$2 million,
right? I always disagree with Kehleboe on a lot of things, right? But yeah, it's it. Prince Johnson is the magic in that country.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Prince is the magic. It's not cool. It's
He has proven it. Prince has proven it.
He's proving it all the time.
He has proven it.
That's no person in the history of Liberia.
Every election.
I agree. He has proven it.
I was talking to a major Nibayan the last time. A former how they call it, special forces. What he said to me, the people told me, he said, until that man, God call that man, say this and that man will always have influence over our election in Niba. Nothing gonna change it. If Prince Johnson don't support Kun in the next election, Kun created any other thing whatsoever, he will not.
If that man support the 20 million man, let's
so nobody know they start treating that man good.
That's what I'm telling you, Tomalin.
That man good.
Show him soon.
Treat that woman good. If Kun hold that woman good, and that's how he go. Woman support him. The woman not support him. The man will not support him. Trust me. Then they probably will come about. If he laughing, tell him. Then the man now will come out and say he for the Southeast.
Yes, but
that's the time to remind him. Remind him that they say no. The COM will bring that politics on him. The COM will bring that politics. But we can't make mistake. We studied the science. We're not making mistake here.
So when the studio don't want to come up to take course, so I think we'll do our
guys, yeah, let's get it. Guys. So that's why you're in studio. Come on, Ryan. You ever do a good job? I sent a guy home early, man. It's late in that place.
Yeah, seriously.
Mine taking call. Your calls are good on Friday.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So the lines are activated. You can put your calls in 0777-285-961. So we have someone on the line. Okay, we lost that call. Hello.
You got radio too.
Thank you.
Yeah,
hello, caller.
Good morning.
Yeah, what do you call from?
I'm just from the Liberia Civil Rights Movement. Let me appreciate folks on the closing argument.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you very much. You know, they have started when it comes to the treatment of Liberian citizens, more especially people who were trained and also security to protect and the presidency of our country having treated. I think we call on the government this time around to look in the direction of at least settling them, because if you remove people from position, at least pay them for the services rendered to the country, I think that would be able to satisfy them with where find other things doing. When it comes to the presidency of Liberia, for the fact that President Weah or former President Weah continue to contest in Liberian presidency, I can tell you for sure, even in the next coming election, when he contests, he will win. There's no secret about that. And all of those people you are naming, they may come and make their case and spend the money. But Liberian people will believe in George Weah over President Bokar, because even now, as I speak to you, if you have opinion pool on your radio, former President Weah will win the opinion pool as I speak, because with the current situation in the country, people are not going to school, and we are facing a lot of difficulties in the country. We are actually suffering, but we just pray for the best for our country. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you.
I think we need to do that. They have a mini opinion on something.
Hello?
Yeah,
yeah, Newman, where do you call from?
I'm calling from Chicken Factory.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you for your talking for me. Visit your parliament in the state. It's very great seeing but we are coming back like you agree. But I'll clearly tell you, I don't want to say something for you to find that. As we are speaking, people are angry with Joseph. So in Joseph Baga put whosoever here that people like that preach. And remember we said it the example of Brazil, that the saver. The saver was in power, he was doing everything for the president. He said, no, don't want that. They brought in a president that ran for only one time and do that here defeated him. So they do that back in Brazil. So people should take that at the back of their head. All the 20 billion TOL discussing that people now look at opinion now. Looking at dividends, not looking at full-time profits oil, and say you're talking about fanatical and all the people that they are looking for or following Liberia because they are not in the interest of Liberian people. They are not there for themselves. So I'm not looking at those kind of people now. Thank you for the opportunity.
Okay, thank you. Hello, caller.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm okay. Your name, where do you call from?
My name is Eddie P. calling from Chicken Factory. Remember, I'm responding different thing.
Okay, go ahead.
You know, I listen to my brother Timothy George. Timothy George, that person you want try to support that get 20 million. The way you might even waste their money, to be honest with you, if I would get that money, I would get TP. You only way that brand politics we see your face on your president we are moving for the picture. Now, so I can tell you that 2029 President Will will come in election. If you don't lie, don't open your book, get on the street and see how many presidents they say President we are. Only because of the Joseph Jumabage, the way they give me governor. You know
We'll do that. We'll do it.
Because with Messi President we are. I listen to my sister say President we are not having need to come back. The best thing you can do, prepare your candidate for now to 2029. Prepare your candidate of how far we concern with the Liberian people, the more because we are back, because we're mixing it, but not you. You get a person that Guar, look how you running a country. That's how you our people. Our people is at your property. President we are that people. You pay what fee today? You know how we make the president we are? You are going to pay 20 million. Well, here they will put president we are.
Okay, thank you. Hello, caller. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, name, where do you call from?
My name is Aruna. I'm calling from Africa.
Okay, go ahead. Let's go to the point.
I live in my sister their rules. I don't know why she hit.
Please, not rules.
Yeah, I don't care what her name said because she always attacked from a
I don't even care to know you either. You simple fan.
One of them going to the surface today. So I will go to this country. But they all, President, we are not you hard to. But it don't happen. Eating has become a achievement in a girl when you eat things, the whole thing will eat. So now we are waiting for people to come in now. So if you see a lot, you have to open your pocket and see what a job you have without.
Okay, thank you. Hello, caller.
Yeah, so situation recording, no man.
Yeah, your name, where do you call from?
My name is Sumolo. I'm calling from Red Light.
Okay, go ahead. Stay away from the monitor.
Okay, sir. I just want to say something. Let me know the video quickly. Sorry for this.
Yeah.
Let me just say something to Sales Grace.
Mm-hmm.
When they say the face of Liberia, it's President George Manawia. I don't care anything with the 40 million, 80 million Liberian people. They are minus on CDC. The mistake that happened, they will never be repeated in this country. Everybody sees the situation that was happening to you. And then before if you bring in a new party, it's a good thing. They get 2 million too many jobs, too many jobs, and too many jobs. And they get 2 million in bringing this and also. These are people who will be promoting all of the time because they got money, they just put it there and nothing there. I don't see 20 million they go, they say, it's our project, today, way down. I mean, 20 million can be for that bring people away again. And we smart enough, my people. They say, oh, people go around the world, they make each other, you're not seeing before. All the things that President George has been doing, people have been seeing. They are not knowing the tangible that he has been doing. The other people will say that they
Okay, thank you. So you put your course in 0777285.
Take 2 more calls.
2 more calls.
Yeah, Nima, what do you call from?
Okay, my name is Guar. I call from Peabody in Congo town.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I clearly following the conversation on the media. But let me tell our man with something. The draw is for example, the entire world. We are in a digital system, a technological era. So our brain has been transformed to certain level, imposing a kind of paper on us. At this time, we are suffering. We the motorcyclists, those guys who were way back on instead or task force, we are seeing task force around again, giving the motor, hard time. So President Weah, being a president of the Republic of Liberia at the time, we're in peace, we're doing everything normal, but we are at a normal situation. So if we can bring President Weah back, we shouldn't pray to God. Because that's the only man that can rescue all, they are rescuing themselves. Probably where and will keep machine. Now they are sitting inside. Go on Nima Road. There is no way to go. In my own on the counter, technically was region where you were pushing up. There is no road. So where are we? So my people thank you. We're listening to you. Whatever we do, we'll get me President. We are back. That's it, but we shouldn't give go out now.
Okay, thank you. Hello, caller.
Yes, hello.
Yeah, Nima, where do you call from?
Yes, my name is Anthony Togar, calling from Tuafa Community. Tuafa Community, that's here.
Okay, be fast.
Yeah, look, I just want to tell you that Josh, we have here with me a strong, strong food in Liberia. Let me tell you, Josh, we are keeping a popular method in everybody on their job. See why it's going on? People are hungry, people that day, no food. They put the people down. So Josh, we are careful in Liberia. Josh, we are still pushing the win. Apart from Nima, even though we will still need vote for Nima, but if we come to if we get it, not even get also rather, and other countries, you can still win the election.
Okay, thank you. So let's squeeze this last caller. Hello, caller.
Hello?
Yeah, Nima, where do you call from?
My name is Editor from that party.
Okay, go ahead.
Hello. Oh, hello. People were saying on our air that step water in power. They don't see anything on the water. My attention is to it. Just a market is on this. Just a market is so in the zero. Just a market now, yes. People to me. Just a market now, yes. So the 2 million rule, where still, where package. Just a market now, property, civil property to like great people. Just a market now, do comfort that you know every day. Just a market now, do worry. So just a market now, do anything. And then the election, you know, you're still not American, that's not the election, you want not to get anymore, not to so we are done. We the home agent for beneficiary by NPP. So I was speaking now for me, we are saying that my temperature is food. No food for people to eat. Then now who you will bring up on that logo or in that project to take the people position. So we are like I said, now it's plenty. So we will discuss today, you must discuss it, that you will do something to the store for some of us to see food. No food. For people running to Togar for them to get them food. But the social market, say it comes from China, and they understand your member, I know what he breathes in our fight, and rubber there to go. There was your down. He not coming to speak with any of the cities. All the Star Wars used to say, the last one from the Star Wars, that will money. And you bring somebody that will go put that help on you. So, what the Lord help on the die in the year.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you.
All the Google talk for 8 years. Stop on my hand, but you want to know it.
Okay, thank you.
Brian, you take
Yeah,
I texted you.
I got one caller in line.
Yes. Okay, now thank you on the one.
Yeah, caller, go ahead.
Yeah, greetings, Tomalin Josh, and greetings to the fellow panelists. Comrade Abu, joining from Central Monrovia. I follow the conversation briefly. But one of the things I discovered is that some of the panelists have been disingenuous to our government. You are aware that Boga has shown office the War Economic Crime Code. Hello?
You on live? Go ahead.
Okay, so as I was saying, on one of the campaign promises we made to the people of Liberia, when elected as government, we will establish World Economic Crown Court, which the president has constituted a team and responsible to.
I'm already. So go ahead. And I'm you.
Yeah, thank you, Maya. Thanks for taking our calls in there. Also, please keep my little number. So I texted you, I inbox you messenger. You can send it to me. Peabody, we're closing now.
Yep, we gotta go. It's late. The guys gotta go. Let's do this.
So let me just close 2 seconds. Look, these people, you know, like people, they always like to label you because they don't know. The people don't accept truth. I don't know why it's so hard. And everybody has their own opinion about everything. So my truth is different from your truth. Where your rights ends is where my rights begin. So you have to be able to accept those things. So my thing is that Joseph Boakaja got in power. Excuse me, it hasn't been a year yet. Although all the promises he put down, he gave the people that he was going to do in certain time when he was running, those promises has not been met. But you don't forget to know that the last 6 years, George Weah was in power. Liberia is destroyed. I'm coming from Liberia. I came there 2-3 months ago. I came from Liberia. I don't know, it's quite 3 months yet. But his 6 years was a failed presidency. We have to just say the truth. The truth is the truth. You're like people, you're in denial when you love somebody. You don't want to realize what it is that he failed his presidency. And that's the reason why the Liberian people voted him out of power. If George Weah would take that election, he would have won. He would have taken it for himself. He did not have. He couldn't take it. It was so broad that he did not win this election. George Weah knows exactly what I'm talking about. He knows. So you're stop with this whole, you know, we suffering. We understand the suffering was already there. Joseph Boakaja did not create that suffering these last months. He did not. Most of y'all, just because y'all always got hand-me-down. Liberians are used to hand-me-down. Everybody must get something for free. We want a president to create a society that the economic problem in the country will be solved. Infrastructure will be created. The people will have jobs. So you can go and work for your own money and feed yourself and send your own children to school. Instead of you going from ministry to ministry, rescue mother in Abrono, giving you $100 a year, $200 a year. That they cannot help your one, that they cannot help Liberia need. That's why you don't prepare yourself to be the right person to lead your family. You always want people to get your money. And that's the presidency. That was George Weah presidency because they were always giving you $300 a year, $400 a year, party headquarters. And he was that good of a president. Why he didn't even build a party headquarters? Why did the CDC be evicted? They don't have their own property their own property that they own. Instead, they were still renting. Even as a government in power, they were still renting. So y'all will not come tell us here, some all will not settle for this nonsense. We will continue to say that we are looking forward to Joseph Boakaja government succeeding. Because if Joseph Boakaja government succeed, like Liberia succeed, and in a way that it will bring the economic burden down, that the people will be able to do businesses and succeed, that the people will have jobs in the private and public sector. That's what we want for the country. So your second get your butt up and go work for your own money and send your children to school instead of passing it around and they give you $200, $300, and most of the millennials that the one that I was calling, most of them that what they want, they never prepare themselves, but they never even went to 6th grade. They expect to go sing ho and wear parrot and get given $300 every week. They're not going to work in Liberia anymore. You have to wake up and smell the coffee. It's not going to happen. George Weah, if I were advising, I would tell him not to run for president anymore. He can put somebody here up for the CDC party to continue to go for. He should not put himself in the race because he had at the end of his presidency, he has a very good legacy left behind. As far as him as a 6-year president, he feels like you are big time. And I say so because I got evidence and proof to show that he did that. So that's where we end for the day. I'm not going to sit down and sugarcoat anything. George Weah was so good for president, the whole Memorial, all the roads for. We couldn't even maintain the roads. That better wake up. That $2 you're looking for, free money, you're not going to get jobs.
Sylvester, 3 are closing. Then we'll close here. Tommy will go last. Okay, we back.
I listen to the callers, but it's just important that I mean, that's the voice of the. I mean, we appreciate the voice of the people is the voice of God, right? So
That's not a true saying.
um,
They came up with that thing.
Greg, the people,
can you
people not happy. I hope you let the party people listening. The people not happy.
If you don't believe that's not a true saying, I believe it. I'm saying it. So that's why I'm saying that. So it will be okay when you allow, if you allow me to continue. So the voice of the people is the voice of God, and it is amplified basically in terms of biblical saying and philosophical saying, if you will. Now, here's what I believe in. If the people believe, and that's one of the reasons why the craft of our constitution, a constitution across the world, even the democracy of the world, the United States of America, they emphasize the people. They emphasize everything in the interest of the people. If it comes to the First Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, all of the basic things in the interest of the people. And from the American Creed, they will emphasize that. That also in our Constitution, the preamble of our Constitution, and that's what Article 1 of our Constitution says. That people will give references and we back it with documentation. Yeah, we don't just say things, but we'll say. Article 1 of our Constitution says power is inherent in the people.
Yeah.
Right? And so, and they said their voices matter a lot. Power is inherent in us, the people. So I will believe sincerely that we are the major junction of our body politics. And democracy is getting mature. And that's the essence of the democracy we talked about. The political pluralism. And that's one of the reasons why the progressive didn't do nothing for the country. They were, I believe, that did some things. They fought for the democratization of our country. The pluralism, changing our mindset. Now we no longer can go to the butchers. We disagree to agree. We can someone will lambast somebody, another person will respond to this, but the value of the process that we're going through is the process about what the people are going to say. So if the people are not pleased moving forward to the next election, trust me, they're going to take decision. And that's one of the reasons why today we find ourselves, because the people took decision. So what I will believe in before I close here today is that we as the electors of Liberia, or collectively, the Liberian people, we have to come together where we will push a big sense in the head of our leaders to do good things for our people. It is important that these young folks that are calling on the radio, going to different areas to make comments sometimes, we invest into community colleges across the country, invest into more technical institutions so we get the process prepared in. Everybody don't have now to go to what we call academic school. And the one thing I said the last time, but when they're joking, they're saying some things, I said, I listened to the current one, the presidential candidate here, said she's going to encourage apprenticeship now in this country. You don't have to have 4-year college degree to have a job in federal job. She said if she wins as president of this country, she's going to change that. And I agreed with that. People learning technical vocational institutions, people learning in the apprenticeship learning process is very pivotal towards empowering the local economy and encouraging people from different sectors of our country. We need now to decentralize the University of Liberia. We need to remove the university, as we started, the past government decided already, we have one to St. J. We have to decentralize it so that everybody will have the opportunity to move through the country. The reason why quickly, the few seconds, I emphasize the people, because if the people are happy, if everybody is happy, trust me, that blessing and sense of peace will revolve around the country. You will hear that reverberation. It will unfold. So, gentlemen, have a very pleasant night and very good evening to everybody.
All right, Kehleboe, stay yet. Kehleboe, get close it quick, and let's try to roll it. You guys can take this picture.
All right. Thank you, guys. Great show. I want to close on a few comments that Tomalin George made. Tomalin George, in the discussion earlier, Tomalin George said this. He said, if the president addressed at the UNGA General Assembly, if he doesn't include the issue of the War Crime Code and request support for the United Nations, that will be a major departure and it will be a major challenge for his administration. And I want to publicly say I do agree with Tomalin George on that, because the War Crime Code is one of the major policy pillars of the Garguah administration, that they want to depart from the old tradition of impunity for the war crimes committed and corruption in Liberia. So if he doesn't go to the UN, if he doesn't talk about it forcefully, maybe even devote 2 paragraphs of his speech to that, I will be very concerned, and I think the international community will basically write him off, and that will be the end of the 6 year. I mean, he will just go all around, but he's not going to have any major investment if he back off from that accountability drive. Then the second thing I want to close on is just the fact that we are talking about all the things we're talking about today only because of 2 political parties, the CDC and the Unity Party. Those are the parties of corruption in Liberia. Those are the 2 parties that have run out of ideas how to manage the state. Nothing is working in Liberia now because the 2 parties have actually damaged everything. They are the party of corruption. They've just broken down every sector of society, every morality, everything they've done. So we need new thinking. We need fresh breed of thinkers to occupy our public service. And I will close on that.
Thank you. I'll really close. Look, President Barker, you have not even had a press conference in the last 9 months. I think this is embarrassing. You criticize President Weah for that. And he didn't do it. I hope you listen to the caller today. The people are calling and complaining. Take note, President Barker. The people are already getting fed up. And when they start complaining, it's bad for our country. But lastly, let me say this. Guys, don't go after Grace. She's expressing her opinion. This show allows people to express their opinion. You don't be blasting at Grace and getting mad. Everybody can express their opinion here. Okay?
You think I got time for the poor?
One guy went and took my picture with my niece. One guy took my niece's picture at her graduation and put it on. He said that the people are gay. The picture. It's not stuff like that. You know, those are stupid things. I just made me laugh. But God, please don't insult this lady. That's her opinion. She can express it. So many closer, you know.
Yeah, guys, quickly.
Y'all can be cussing. Who cares about y'all?
It's okay, Chris.
Ignore them. Grace don't manage Grace. People will always talk. Grace, don't ignore them. Okay, quickly, guys.
Because he expressed an opinion about
I want to call the president to act on the LGA crisis. You need to appoint people. That's all I wanted to say tonight. Thank you.
All right, guys. Have a good night. Don't forget, Friday will be the fundraiser. We'll be by Wednesday. But everybody have a good night. We love all of you. We love all of you guys. All our fans, everybody will love you guys. Have a good night, guys. God bless.
Including y'all who be paid to curse people, we love you too. It's all for love for country. Y'all can curse all y'all.
Thank you so much, Maya. All right, guys.
Okay.
All right, bye-bye.
Mayan, call me. Yeah, I beg you, call me. Don't forget, call me. I beg you, call me.
Okay.